We are back for the semifinals.
And we have Ravens versus
Eclipse. Ooh, this is gonna be a good one.
a tale as old as time.
True, true, true. But these teams don't look the same as we usually expect them to.
Now we actually have a rookie playing for Eclipse, which is new. And okay, so hear me out. Ravens track record versus Eclipse, awful. They've won one game in the entire series.
Ever.
Yeah. But you know what the Ravens did
What?
for the Ravens never being Eclipse in playoffs, but you know what the Ravens did for one of the first times I want to say
What?
ever last week? They won Wreckfest. They got that monkey off of their back.
They've broken the curse. Wreckfest was the key to beating Eclipse, is what I'm hearing.
You remember the movie Hoes?
Yes.
And remember when they were like, I think it was Mama Odie, where they had to bring the water up to her? That's them with Wreckfest. They had to win Wreckfest. The league was like, you know what? We can't let you win the championship until you win Wreckfest.
True. It might just be that. I'm gonna also go that they made some pretty big changes overall on the team. I think we saw a lot of tried and true players in the Ravens that have been there for a long time move this season.
TOG is no longer there. Mr. OGL is no longer there. Now, Poe's not as tenured, but he was still somebody that they were planning to build around. And they got rid of some rookies. Mr. B. Oh, let's see what game is first.
And first up,
Wreckfest!
to
Let's go!
speak to it is Wreckfest. And I do want to give a big shout. Thank y'all for joining us today. We are starting a little bit late due to some technical issues with our streaming software. Nothing on our end, but we're happy to be here in this
Want to
moment.
give you the best performance that
Yeah,
we can.
we gotta be a little bit sharp, clean up a little bit, be ready to jump right in for today's semifinal match.
And I was talking to you about this earlier. Wreckfest, right?
Yes.
We're talking about those games that aren't like. So if Wreckfest is a 5v5, it's a racer slash demolition, right?
Yes.
So some teams opt to go buses, some teams opt to go racers. But what's interesting about this game at this point, at this juncture, right? So it's one of those games that like, okay, Tekken Road, right? You know who's going in. You have a true and tried reason for that, right? Wreckfest. This is a game that could be, the Ravens feel like they could win it. Eclipse is confident that they can win it, right? So who do you send in? Who do you anchor? Because who you anchor
Matters.
is going to change the rest of the game, right? So say you put Chicken Tech in, because Chicken Tech's your racer. What happens if Moto's next?
That's still one of those big things. We can see the Ravens here side of the stage, and they are getting set up. They're getting set down, and I do think they come out swinging big, to your point.
But at the same time, okay, so let's pretend your best racers, or your best Wreckfest people, right? Let's pretend it's KIC, Herb, Chicken Tech, and like Watt, and who else?
Wreckfest. That's what it gives him. We'll say him.
No, I want to leave him out.
You want to leave him out.
So Chicken Tech, Herb,
KJ?
Let's pretend you put the Ravens best
Best
five
five.
people in, right?
Yeah.
And then the people that you have to leave out for that to be the best five are KJ and him.
So you're looking for like sports and shooters.
You're looking for, but we got 32 other games on the wheel.
And that's the big thing.
And then what happens if you lose Wreckfest and then MK rolls up?
It hurts. I think the
So,
big thing, and these are two minds, and because I'm getting where you're going. The idea is, I think you have to decide right now: are you going to be a team that full sends, or are you going to try to play the wheels and hope that it rolls in your
Well,
favor?
yeah, no, I get that part, but okay, so we actually have lineups. Or we're about to give them fully.
Ooh.
Oh, Cutters was the other person I was thinking
Oh,
about.
Cutters. Okay.
But yeah, no, it's what makes it interesting in this one is with Tekken, you automatically know you're gonna go on. I feel like Wreckfest is one of those games, like almost like what's the name of that game? Almost like Fall Guys is, where you probably want it a little bit later in, not off of a fresh rotation,
Yeah.
and you want to be like, okay, well, based on the games left on the wheel, these are my two most important people to have out. But at this point, who are your two most important best people to have out for this game?
So I think both the team strategies will kind of be opened up here. I think we will get a chance
To see how they're playing this.
to see who they're choosing to anchor, right? You're going to have to leave two people out. And with those anchors, you're going to really, to me, tell me what games you feel you need to secure,
Yeah.
right? Because that's who you have to hold in this moment. And I think we're getting the lineups in. Once everybody's in, we'll go ahead and give a full call out. But I think that it does matter. So I'm going to go with the people sitting down currently, right? So we see KJ, him, KIC, Cutters and
Watt.
Watt chilling in the back in the comfy get up. So very clearly here they're leaving out Chicken Tech, which I think we both would pretty agree on that's a racing situation.
That's the best
Why
anchor.
you would want to hold him, and then Herb probably one of the most consistent fighters in the league. In terms of whatever fighting game rolls up,
Yeah.
be it a Naruto or be it something like a Tekken, you can kind of trust his performance to be at a similar to the same level.
And an interesting thing to really consider here is that they say, oh, well, if Tekken rolls up, her will be available on a reset, right?
Yeah.
But then you know how that messes up your rotation? Is because then if you have to put Herb in for this game and then put him in for the next game, like, it's one of those things that you start trying to back, it starts, like, it's going to catch up to you eventually.
You get into a situation where you're hoping for like, okay, we need this one game to roll that would be really great for the people we have available, but it would let us get back to a full reset to kind of pick what we want to do. And if people are wondering and don't know, that is what is unique about UEL. We have this wheel with 33 games.
Random.
That is completely random that you have to adhere to. You don't get to just say, oh, well, I play fighting games, so I'm going in for the fighting games. You got to be able to be ready for a racer
Anything.
or a shooter or a strategy game. That is such a unique part of UEL and what really shows the skill of the players here.
Because, like, you can go in from, oh, yeah, I'm playing Tekken, and now I'm playing Rocket League. Well, not this season. I'm playing Tekken, and then now I'm about to play Tabs.
Yeah.
Like,
And you have to be able to hold your own because you don't know who's sitting across from you. We could sit down and between the two of us, we could go back and forth where I might be playing you normally in like Guilty Gear, but the moment Tekken comes up now, I'm the person that's like, okay, I don't know this game as well. I have to be worried about Rex and what he's able to do, and that is again the beauty of UEL to me.
and it's
How creative.
honestly, it's evolved so much. First season, right? We only had a handful of games outside of shooters that were multiple players, right? Like, all of the sports games were 1v1 except for Rocket League, right?
Okay.
The fighters were Smash was different. We had Smash 1v1, we had Smash 2v2, we had
Ooh.
Smash 3v3s. But other than that, for the most part, the games were 1v1s. But then as the league evolved, now you're starting to see that, hey, before you can rely on that one sports person, but now you have to have a team of competent people. And how do you want to build your team, right? Do you want to be a
Yes.
sports team? Do you want to be a racing team? Because I don't believe there's a team in the league that's just great at every category. They may be, like, when you get to this level, right? We're in the
Top 4 teams.
win the conference finals, right? You get to this point, these teams aren't necessarily weak at stuff. They're just stronger at stuff. They're not going to lose to the teams that are bad in those categories. They're going to lose to a team like that's good in those categories.
Right, like if you play RPGs, your stats go. You got a B or an 80 in like everything, but there's some of those stats that you have S pluses in. In the case of the Ravens, Eclipse is going ahead and throwing out a timeout for us, so we'll have a little bit more time to chat with you. RecFlex does take some time to set up, and that 6-minute window, for everybody watching, you got 6 minutes to sit down and set up. Can be a little bit tricky sometimes. You don't want to always burn a timeout in the first game.
So, back to your whole stats, right? Okay, so let's use Pokemon. Everybody understands Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. Please do. Butterfree, right?
Yeah.
Has awful attack stat, right? So, like, you're like, oh, well, I'm never going to have to worry about, like, physical attack hurting me, right? But if that Butterfree's level 100 and your Pokemon's level 20, that skill difference is going to matter. And that's how it is when some of these games, like for instance, Karma's probably not the strongest fighting game lineup. They are, but, like, that's their weakness, right? That's probably one of their bigger weaknesses, and it's going to show in a game like this. But they're not going to lose in their, like, if they go up against, like, maybe, say, a team with not as many fighting game people.
They can hold their own, even having not
Not being their strongest category.
Yeah, exactly. And these teams are matched up pretty well. I think both have their strengths that we would probably favor them in.
Yeah.
So,
Fighting games will be,
the Ravens
and shooters will be
Eclipse.
And when I tell you that is a tell that has been going on for forever, it's always been Ravens want the fighting games. Ravens always want the fighting games versus Eclipse. And Eclipse always wants the shooters. Now, it's evolved a little bit more that they can contest each other a little bit better in the other ones. So for early on, if Pip-Boy wasn't in for these fighting games, in a little bit later seasons, LJ, right?
Yeah.
They would just straight up lose it, straight up lose it, straight up lose it. But now they have a little bit more of a chance to contest, right? And with the Ravens, I feel like haven't gotten quite to that point in shooters to challenge Eclipse consistently. But there's cases where they have a chance to challenge them,
Yeah.
as opposed in past iterations of the Ravens, where the Ravens did not have a shot at it. And then that's where you see the evolution of these teams start to come into play.
Because I think we would both say that historically in Wreckfest, Eclipse would be favored.
Heavily.
But like you said, historically, the Ravens didn't win Wreckfest. And last week, they managed to break that.
Get the monkey off their back.
Yes, and this new young team, I feel like, especially with this lineup, they're holding the Herbs and Chicken Techs, but having a lot of these newer players, it's a good mix of new and old. But the two perspectives, I think, helps them against a team like Eclipse, because Eclipse is one of the few teams that I can say innovate Wreckfest, and here we go. We got a bunch of different perspectives.
So we have him, Cutters, KIC, Watt,
we got a
and
tip
KJ
already
versus Jury, AJ, Spicy, Snappy, and Phoenix. So him is PC3. Which one are we looking at right here?
I'm not sure, but currently in PC1 is in the lead. Cutters is currently taking an early lead. We saw this last week against the Gorillas. He did a really good job of kind of getting this lead and eventually forcing the enemy team to compete with them.
And I'm interested in what the next game is. So it looks like we are spectating Eclipse.
Okay.
So what would be interesting here is they put Jury in.
Yes.
And we want to say that Jury is the best player, right? So you put
Especially
Jury in the game
Eraser.
like this. What happens if F1 Moto rolls up?
Ooh,
Because they got Spicy in as well.
That's the big worry. So coming up next, they have League of Legends.
Wow.
Ooh, which actually I think works out to a degree for the Ravens. The Ravens are a really big. Both teams left out people that I think they'll be comfortable dealing with.
There's a
we
lost
have a
connect.
crash. We might have had a connection issue, which in and of itself we might have to reset up the game. Yeah, looks like the server went down. We will get this set back up for you pretty quickly. In the meantime, we went ahead and grabbed ourselves some slides. If you don't know, they are a proud partner here of the UEI. I cannot speak. In fact, my energy might be getting a little bit low. Let me go ahead and crack it open. It is a great energy drink, as always. Not, a few grams of sugar? 2 grams of sugar, 10 calories. And they taste really good. No fizz. It goes down really smooth, and it's always just a good time.
Great, yeah.
We're both drinking the citrus flavor, which has chamomile. If you don't know chamomile, it gives you that boost of energy without making me feel jittery.
Which is something, some of these other
Energy drinks
can't quite do.
They really don't do it well. But yeah, with Wreckfest, we saw a bunch of buses here. And that's something that, for those that have never seen Wreckfest, you mentioned that it is a racing game, but there's that demolition aspect to it.
So that, points matter, but surviving matters more.
Yes.
You can't win if you're dead.
Y'all heard it? 100%. I actually, completely agree, and it's one of the biggest
swings in the game, I would say.
not just swings, but, decider in how we play UEL here.
Yeah.
The bus strat, which is what you're seeing where everyone's going a bus, we actually saw Eclipse experiment a few times with cars, and it seems like they've kind of agreed that the bus strat is the current best option. I think that there's some innovation still to be done.
Yeah, so it's interesting because there is something that I'm going to give people a little bit of tech what I learned when I was actually on the bus. So Billy, we talked about Wreckfest a little bit. So when we see people hit people, how do they hit them?
You would think normally anybody that's ever seen a car and you're trying to hit something, you run into it. You just ram into it head first.
Okay, so that from a perspective, you think that makes the most sense, right?
Yes.
Okay, so answer me this: if both my hands are the same strength, right, and if I'm hitting somebody, right, am I gonna keep hitting them with the same hand, even though once it starts getting hurt, right?
Right.
I'm gonna switch it up.
Mm-hmm. That
So
makes sense.
okay. So the bus is about this narrow,
Yeah.
and the front area is about that size, right?
Yeah.
You keep hitting them with that one spot. You have your size to hit them with. You can slide into them. Now maybe it won't do as much damage, but you want to survive so you can do as much as you possibly can.
All right. It looks like we are back in the game. People are moving again. It looks like I don't know if he was just trying to let him go on by or what the plan was here. We got
But there's a
some
significant
resets.
amount of damage to
On
in game
PC
is
11,
11,
that would
which
be
be spicy.
Yeah, so Eclipse has already taken a good bit of damage. He's
And this
below
is the
half health.
downside of having to restart is that Eclipse had I would say, decisive advantage the first time around.
Yes, I agree because a few of these trades we see PC2 at a similar like lower health pool. Ooh, two of the red team's buses ended up smacking into each other right there. But here we go. We see red team just the points are relatively even. It's just 1-0. No team has pulled too far a point. And we see a big jump here to red taking
And
the
that
lead.
would be Karma, I believe.
Yeah, so now Jury is ahead. He has a good lead. This is what we know about Jury. Jury is
A good racer.
one of the top racers
Yeah.
here in the league. He consistently is able to perform in whatever racing game, and Eclipse will outrace you if you let them. You have to create situations.
That they're uncomfortable with.
Yeah, and that they cannot. They
So-
cannot. And it looks like we are having another small tech issue. Wreckfest does not want to cooperate today. But that's what's unique about
If
the
we're
game.
on the subject of making Eclipse uncomfortable in games that they are good at, we're going to have to talk about Halo. Not Game on a Wheel currently, but a few seasons ago we had our amazing producer Polo, who was a Raven,
Yeah.
and he decided to do, I think it was like big maps or something, and Eclipse was like, that's not allowed, and it's like, in the rules it is, and it made him so uncomfortable with how they playing. Like, don't get me wrong, the Ravens had good shooters, and Polo was amazing at Halo, but it made them uncomfortable, and the Ravens were able to win because of that. So you have to start taking them. You can't Eclipse, like you were saying earlier, pure talent, right?
Yeah.
You have to take them. You can't say, "Oh, let me just let you keep running running your race." Right? I'm not gonna try to stiff you. I'm not just gonna be like, "Well, we'll just beat them because we play better." Right? No, that's not how you're gonna fully win a game like this.
I think that is one of the big things if you're tuning into UEL for the first time that needs to be understood is that the rule set that we use here is different. It is unique. It gives people the ability to find ways, strategies, ideas that might force somebody that's cool. I'm used to shooting this gun in this position. I'm used to driving this car this way. You don't know and you won't be able to figure out sometimes of like you said, oh yeah, we're used to playing these maps, they're about this size, we rotate this way. All of a sudden you put them on a bigger map with vehicles, with different weapons, different spawns that maybe they haven't practiced, and you can find that edge. It requires not just players to be good, but versatile.
And smart, yeah.
How quick can you pick up a map you've never played? Or have you practiced every single map and gotten good? Those are your options. And I love to see the distinction between the two teams because I think Eclipse is very much a group of gamers that are like,
We're better than you.
we're better than you and we'll prepare better than you.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of teams, and even to a degree, I think the Ravens have this we're good and quick on our feet type of a mentality. And all of them could be like, cool, if we create an uncomfortable situation that we've practiced, that edge, along with our ability to adapt quicker, will give us that dub.
And so we're talking about how Eclipse has pretty much been the ones that kind of handled the Ravens over the years. Ravens have two people on their team who weren't on that team who have beaten the Eclipse in Chicken Tech and Cutters.
The biggest trade to happen in Season 7, I'm still standing by that,
With Chicken Tech.
was Chicken Tech, and it kind of started a
Cascading.
whole situation where players have been moving around a lot. Them managing to get Cutters, I think, really sets up. And I said it last week in a game against the Gorillas. This is for the Ravens, the deciding factor of how did that trade work out. Very clearly, they traded away a lot of, over the course of the season, OGL, and their younger pieces
Zack
as well.
Attack, Mr. B.
So, like, they went for a situation where their talent right now, they have two, top 5 players in Cutters and Chicken Tech that they managed to bring on.
And another...
And is that enough?
Well, another interesting thing that we don't see is, or that we see now is, okay, so we talk about
Mhm.
Nexus a
Yeah.
lot. Deservingly so. Rookie of the year.
Yes.
Really amazing player. One of the few rookies they've really ever trusted to come in a game of this caliber, right?
And he
They're
stood
not
out on
that yeah.
Eclipse.
Yes, that's the thing. You stood out on that team. It's one thing to have a good record in these games because like Eclipse, right? Like you
Mhm.
could probably put Titus on there and they still win just as many games. But maybe more. But
Yeah.
he is the GOAT. But he stood out.
Yes.
You know who we really haven't seen for the Ravens that much, who hasn't had the chance to really make a name for himself during games? KIC.
Yes, all the way from California. He's flown. This will be his third game of season 7 as a rookie. And even during last week's game, we had an interview, and KIC came out and said that the only reason that other rookies were winning awards was because he couldn't make it to more games. This is a matchup that, I mean, how do you have the young uppercomer, right? Nexus on the people don't understand that the Reapers won last season. They are current reigning champions, but before that, 4-time back-to-back champion was Eclipse at the time. They were named Karma, and they're here to take that back.
And there's so many different storylines we can go, or interesting things to think about, right? Is like, so early in the season, we were talking about the individual conversation earlier. Early in the season, you don't know what. All right, so we are back.
How's
So
it going?
we're making some pretty fire points. So let's go back to the most fire one.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
We are back and ready to go. So PC2's in the lead. Funnily enough, this is Cassie's PC. Cassie is going, and he has a small lead here, but we see him getting swarmed by Eclipse.
Oh,
Messenger.
and somebody just took the other way and was like, the wheels on the bus don't go round and round.
So right here, KIC doesn't have a lot of room for error, whereas Eclipse could be looking to set up their racer for a better opportunity here. This is every single time coming off of this first turn, it looks like he had to slow down as well, and this bus has taken the inside edge just to slow down, but he blocks his own teammate.
What I'm surprised is that we're not seeing okay.
Oh,
They're-
big hits.
They're trying. Okay, they're doing heavy damage on Jury. But what I'm surprised that we're not really seeing is when you go around those corners,
Yes.
your center of gravity shifts a little bit. I'm surprised we're not seeing people go for the size right there.
And because you can really get a big flip and a lot of damage really quickly. It looks like the Ravens are leaving one player back to kind of safely challenge these turns coming around the bend. This map, Crash Canyon, is really good for the bus strat. Because it ultimately ends up having the center area and these bumps where the buses aren't the most stable, but any cars you would normally see have to deal with another big hit. But
And that's suspension. And that's another thing that we didn't really talk about, right? So if you can practice this game all you want to, but when you start getting hit, and that's a Raven
Yep,
down.
a Raven is
When you-
already down. The Ravens
Two.
do have a point lead though, so this
They
looks
got to
like
finish
there's
the
a-
race though.
There's a lot of bodies like down.
There's a few things. This game gets messy as it goes along because two reasons, right? Your car starts acting differently because oh wow, it's pure Eclipse on the top. If
Did
you
he
see,
lose a wheel? Oh, he's done. That was such a nice takeout there. A nice side swipe by KIC as he comes and swings by
But
going. But Eclipse has taken. Like, I was wrong. Red team here should be Eclipse.
Yes.
And they have three,
people
five. All five of them are in the top five slots. So the Ravens don't have a lot of wiggle room here. They're going to have to manage to take them all out.
I don't think. Oh wait, no. I think the Ravens lost. Wait. Why
No,
is DNF? No,
PC
they have one person. Is there only two people left? Look at the time.
Yeah,
in the top
I'm
left.
looking, and there's a lot of dead cars here.
Wait, what is going on with the?
Nope, Jerry is chasing. We see PC8 there. It is KIC, it looks like, against
The world.
the world and a half. He has 4 Karma buses still left up. Snappy is low. There's a couple of them low, but he, as a singular bus, it is extremely difficult to try to fight for.
Well, you also have to navigate this because as the game goes along, and it's in this, especially in this map, there's more dead cars, right? So you can still take damage from hitting a parked car
Yes, and the unfortunate thing is Cassie
or flipping.
needs to start taking some people out. He's not going to make up this point differential by himself.
No.
And so he's going to have to.
That's the
wreck
only.
out.
You have to change your win condition, and look, you can see them kind of.
2 setting up, just looking to catch him coming back. Because even if you give up 2 buses here, the rules state that as long as
KFC
your
still has
team-
a fair amount of health too.
as long as your team, the first team to DNF completely, will lose the game. So it's really funny to me. The Ravens don't have to do anything.
And it looks like we are watching AJ. Yeah. So what we need KIC to get like you said, advantageous hits. He needs to be the one initiating. He can't let them bring the fight to him.
What you brought up before, like the ability to slide in there. Like right there, he tried to get a glancing hit. I think PC8, which we saw go by there, Phoenix, he could maybe take out Phoenix and Snappy pretty safely.
Yeah.
It's Jury and AJ that he's going to have the biggest issues with.
Because like you take out those two, right? And that's one less person. That's 2 less people immediately, right? And they can still Snappy can still get a good hit on you. It would just probably be his last hit.
Oh, it looks like KSC was about at half health. Jerry seems to just be running his race.
And that's
be
smart.
careful,
You need somebody to survive.
You don't want to hit each other. They have to be very safe here because going through this area, your bus does bounce, and if you're too close to the middle, it's really easy.
So the
to
question
flip over.
is, the people who are super low in health, do you have them sit and wait for him and then hit him? Because like you don't want them accidentally sliding.
I don't think that they change what they're doing. That was a really bad hit for KIC because it hit the front of his bus, which dealt a ton of damage.
But you
to him.
see, AJ's now at critical damage.
Yeah, but I don't know if he can't safely do another hit like that. He's gonna have to kind of keep driving here. But what I was saying is Eclipse doesn't change what they're doing. They're up on points. As long as they finish out this next lap or so, the game is pretty much over. He somehow has to stop the person in first place and take the people out in second. AJ is in first place, so he has to stop AJ first and foremost. That was a nice glancing hit.
He didn't do any damage.
Yeah. And now you're basically looking at AJ on this last lap to mess things up.
Yeah, and that'd be so beneficial.
I think he ended up
DNFing.
He ended up DNFing because they had those other buses chase him down. So the first game has gone to Eclipse. It is a beautiful thing, a great textbook game of Wreckfest in terms of the bus strat. What you kind of look, the fact that they ended up the game at 4v1, you kind of can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, so you really can't ask for much more because all they had to do was each of them get a little bit of hit on him, right?
Yes.
And then that you already had a point lead, and that also very much limits how he can drive because if you get him on the right spot and you mess up the wheels, he can't go fast enough to hit other people significantly hard enough. But we have League of Legends.
Now, this gets me excited as a strategy player and just a fan of League of Legends. We get to see these two teams go at it. I've had the opportunity to, funnily enough, play both of these teams. And looking at both of the teams, I am probably saying the Ravens should get pretty much their ideal lineup. Chicken Tech and Herb are both League of Legends players they normally would put in. Then they're going to put in KIC and Watt. And for their fifth, I'm interested to see who they would want to work in. But we saw them last week. I believe KJ was their fifth last week. They went ahead and they played really well against the Gorillas and played a very clean game. Where after an initial difficult dragon fight, they took over the game. Eclipse, on the other hand, is bringing in Pip, Nexus, AJ, Spicy, and Snappy.
And you know what I like about this role for Eclipse, is that this isn't a game that they necessarily want Jurian for. So now that kind of resets him so that he's not on the back on his back foot trying to catch up.
Yeah. Now, what's really interesting thing here is I'm gonna immediately just say it. The Ravens have an advantage here. I think in terms of players, Snappy is an amazing carry player that we've seen come out of the jungle time and time again. As someone that's played against him, his decision making and where he looks for opportunities is usually in the right place, and you have to
Account for him.
you have to always be aware of what he's going to do. Spicy is another strong strategy player coming from them, and I know Nexus, Pip, and AJ have all touched the game. The big thing that I'm looking at though is in some of their later season matchups, they were playing Tegeta, which acted as a anchor in the mid lane for them.
Yeah.
And with him not in the lineup, not currently playing today, it makes me a little bit worried because that mid lane matchup can be so decisive. And if it goes like we saw last week, where KIC just took over the whole game, I think that can make life difficult even for somebody as good as Snappy.
Okay. So you say you give the advantage to the Ravens.
Yes.
Okay.
And especially with the format we play. This is something that is really small, but here in the UEL, we play a format based off of points. So you get points by completing different objectives. 1 point, for example, for kills, 1 point for towers. But those bigger team objectives, the Dragons, the Rift Heralds, end up being bigger point values. Dragons being 3, Rift Heralds being 6. But how do you total points? At 15 minutes, when you die, you're permanently dead. So you're trying to figure out, how do I navigate the first 15 minutes of this game to get as many points as I can while giving up as few to still be able and manage to like eke out those points at 15 minutes to hopefully go ahead and win.
Okay. So I do know that you did an interesting strategy earlier this season
I did an interesting strategy.
where you purposely let your players die.
Yes, so that's one of those small things. Because the game ends when one whole team dies, one of the conventional wisdoms is, hey, if
up.
you're up, there are ways to die in League of Legends without giving your opponents a kill, which helps control the points if you know what you're doing. But a lot of times teams have gotten to the point where they kind of just forfeit because they realize they can't win and they don't want to play out the 15 minutes. I'm wondering if Eclipse has maybe prepared something a little bit different, how much they know on each player here, because bans end up mattering a lot. When we get into pick and ban, I will talk a little bit more about it. I am pretty reserved about talking about it before the game starts, just because we do have an arena where you can come in and watch the game. But if you were here and listening, I wouldn't want, information to go out too cleanly too early. I want both teams to have the opportunity, and I want to see their preparation. League is a game in the league that you can prepare for in like a lot of different ways. There's some strategies we've seen from quite a few different teams that have allowed teams to even win 4v5. It's happened before. It's possible. And we're just getting a clarification on the rules, and we'll be getting right into it. But overall, I'm going to be looking, if I'm looking for a player from each team, I'm looking at Snappy from Eclipse. I'm expecting him to start the action as their jungler to also control those big point objectives. On the flip side of all of that, for the Ravens, I'm actually going to be looking probably at a Chicken Tech. Chicken Tech as a player likes to take over games. He and KIC both want to be kind of the person taking over games. So we get a good vantage point here.
Oh, real quick.
Both people.
Chicken is Hug.
Yes.
Is PC5. Pasta Herb TTV is Herb. Watt is PC3. Smoking
on your top 5 is that man KIC. He's smoking on your top 5.
And Kyle J is 134 is one on PC1.
Yes. And for Eclipse, the name should be Pip-Boy and Nexus, AJ, I think Mr. Spicy and Mr. Snappy, I believe, all of their accounts. So we see people picking some runes. Looking at the different bands, it looks like we had Draven, Vayne, and Warwick. That shows me that Eclipse has done some research into the Ravens. The Draven ban going at Chicken Tech being his most played. People looking at Vayne, Cassie loves to play Vayne and loves to diff people pretty clearly. And Warwick being one of the safer junglers that they tend to play. We're getting another wheel spin here. We're going flying through pick ban, so there's not even a whole lot that I can say. It looks like they got rid of Yone. Roller Champions is next. Ooh, we getting a variety. We have now had racers. We're going into a strategy, and we'll be jumping into sports. All 5 categories matter.
And you know what's funny? We were talking about fighters and shooters, and we haven't had either one yet.
Which is really good. I think we'll get the chance to see how versatile some of these teams are, especially once those games definitely start rolling a little bit later in. So normally we could dive into it because these teams were so quick on pick ban. It looks like they really want to get into the game. This last pick being a Kaisa, and Kaisa should be on the Team Eclipse.
Okay.
DC Eclipse. So we'll look at their lineup and I'll see where they are because there's definitely a few different places, a few different opportunities for them to play here. And this is actually pretty interesting picks to kind of be worried about. Eclipse is going for a pretty standard lineup, so Snappy is going to be on the Volibear more than likely. We have the Malphite going top. That's going to be Pip-Boy, which makes me think that who Kaisa should be Spicy, who is usually their ADC, and then on the flip side of that, I just kind of want to know who exactly is going mid here, because this mid matchup is going to be very
pivotal.
Important. Yeah, if KIC is playing into somebody that knows how to play Nefiri, the potential for his character to die really early means that they could get in a lead. Nefiri is an assassin. She wants to find that squishy target and to kill them out. Yep. And here we go. Eclipse is running out here. So in this bottom right-hand corner, we have Spicy. Snappy, their jungler. I love them. He's gonna be looking to set up early game plays. We have the mid lane in the bottom left.
A few people down there. I'm not sure.
Yes. So this is one of those situations where he wanted to get some vision there just to be able to see what was all going on, which he managed to. But it looked like the Ravens were maybe trying to bait him out to catch him for going too far. But Eclipse kind of knows their limits and isn't going to push it too far. So here we go. We're watching AJ here on Misfortune. Kaisa, you can tell that it is a lot of different pieces. So AJ and Nexus are going to be down here in this bot lane, and I expect them to be going up against Chicken Tech. This is going to be important. Chicken Tech wants to run over. Trust me when I tell you, he wants to snowball the game so hard that he is looking for this moment, Rex. I'm telling you, we may see. I would not be surprised to see an initial, the first kill come from this bottom lane. And up top, Herb and Pip-Boy, I expect them to kind of both be doing their own thing and not dying to one another is going to be my biggest guess. So let's see. I wonder if AJ's reading his abilities. That sometimes can bode a little bit badly if you don't know exactly what your character does, but we're popping back between people. So here we go. We're looking at Spicy. Spicy is one of their stronger league players. I can see why they would put him on Nefiri to try to go up against KIC. So he's just doing his best to farm. I'm gonna wager he's not gonna be too aggressive. Spicy has put some time on Nefiri, so he knows the character, but he isn't, I think, gonna be overly aggressive.
He doesn't know how far he can push his limits.
Yes, and that's one of those terrifying things. Is you want to do that in that matchup. If you wait and give KIC's character too much time, he can kill you. He can kill you, and he will do it relatively early. In fact, he wants to do it. I wonder if KIC will play a little bit more reserved here. So every time you see that little red line come out, that will cause everything hit by it to bleed and take damage over time. And now he went ahead and grabbed his W. He has all 3 abilities. So Nefiri wants to dash around, jump on people, and go ahead and get a big fight going. KIC doing a great job of sidestepping these and getting a few quick trades back. I can see Spicy looking for an opportunity, but already he's burning a lot of mana, his blue bar, without having really done too much damage to KIC. And there we go. He finally tags him. KIC quick to kill the dogs that jump on him. and is again just playing kind of safe here. Now, I'm letting you know one thing that's really big with Eclipse is Snappy likes to look for plays, and so it wouldn't surprise me if Snappy's lurking somewhere around. We don't
Gank.
exactly know, to go ahead and try and gank and take him out. But Cassie, you can see him kind of hitting and then backing up. He's never pushing too far. He's giving himself that little bit of cushion. He's knowing when he wants to go aggressive. Nice job trying to predict. He's still not able. He's only landed one of these, which is really difficult. Pit Boys looks like he's a little bit lower.
And that
on
would
mana.
be Snappy that we're watching right now.
And yep, Snappy is now up top. Herb, I don't know if you want to step up there, buddy boy. You want to waste this time as much as possible while not putting yourself in danger. Did Herb see him walk back? He's trying to keep eyes on him. That's a wild flash for me, but you see that the jungler is coming up here.
There's two people.
Yep, they want to look like they want to get a big fight here. That was a flash. That's enough. I like this. This tells me that there's a lot of communication coming out of the Ravens because after you burn that flash there, while now that's now dangerous, we know that Pip-Boy doesn't have mana and isn't able to do a lot. We saw a quick flash to the bottom lane where it looks like AJ was also low on health.
And now we're back down to KIC.
Yes. Spicy is still here doing his best, but already I can tell you that Eclipse is on the back foot. Their team is unfortunately in a situation where they're still looking for a play, but they're getting beat, but not in a way where a lot of people would expect of the Ravens taking these risky options. They're just kind of individually beating them and chipping away at them until you force them into uncomfortable situations. So you can see on the bottom side in the mini map in the bottom right, the two red circles that were up there at the tower to get some gold, they're backing off now before the blue circles walking from the top part of that lane down, get back. So now, hey, I pushed you off. You missed some of the gold and experience that you might normally have wanted to get.
And that throws you off track a little bit.
Yes, so we haven't seen a point swing yet. No points have been thrown out here, but the dragon is up. So I like the job here of Eclipse to push out. So Spicy pushed out his wave, and we can already see them starting to try to set up for this 3-point objective.
And it's Snappy right
but
there.
already the Ravens are on it, and the Eclipse is late to the play here. They're going to look to maybe get a big kill here.
They have Smite
Yeah, so Snappy, who you see here, is trying to get in the pick to go ahead and fight this. They went ahead and killed Herb first. Watt is over here fighting. We got to see what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to get this dragon. The Ravens are focused up. They're doing the best. They had to have lost 2 by this point. We do not know exactly how this is going to play out. Whoever gets this dragon will set them up for later in the game to really, truly be able to get some points. So 4 kills went over to Eclipse, or went over to the Ravens. 2 went over to the Eclipse.
So that was Herb that died and one other.
Herb and I'm going to guess Watt are the 2 people that probably died off of that play where Watt was positioned. But I did not see Eclipse with the buff coming off of the Windrake. So it looks like that might have also gone to the Ravens, which means that would be a 7-2 lead, which is really difficult knowing that you're going to have to immediately go fight another fight for another big objective.
And yeah, you have to. So getting down in this game, especially when you already don't know or you're not the best, is horrible because now you have to do stuff that you're probably not comfortable with. You have to play at a different pace.
Yes, you and I've had this conversation sometimes where, like, I always tell people league players are percentages.
Yeah.
It's risk versus reward, and some of them might be 50-50. A lot of teams will always take, like, 30-70 plays. Yeah. The worse your position in a game gets, the more risky you're willing to go. If you have a 5% chance of winning a game, why not take a 10% play?
Yeah.
You're going to lose anyway. Jump out there, take this big option.
It's like in F1. It's like, oh, well, I'm already far behind, and the car just passed me up again. I'm going to go ahead and do my best to...
I can either ram or I can do something, but I have to make a play somewhere and do something.
I have a 5% chance of winning. Also, I have a 95% chance of winning if I keep playing it like this. Sorry, 95% chance of losing if I keep playing like this. But I have a 0% chance. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And the tension is palpable. You can see both of these teams focused up. They are staring as hard as they can, hoping to get more points. We had the dragon, which spawns at 5 minutes. But at 8 minutes, the Rift Herald spawns. This is a 6-point objective. It's worth more than both of the dragons that are going to spawn.
And if the Eclipse to get that, then...
Besides, and Eclipse are here first. Unlike last time where they weren't, it looks like Eclipse is here first and ready to fight. Herb is running in. I think he went a little bit early. They may die off of this. This is really dangerous. Herb managed to run away, and it looks like KJ's doing a good job of holding them
There's
off.
4 of them there.
It is a 4v2 right here, and it looks like Malphite is dead, and the jungler is dead. This should pretty much secure it for the Ravens. The Ravens are now up 7-2.
So we see the upgrade path. So how much does that change with how we play the game?
So normally the number of minions you kill and kills you get determine how much gold you get.
Yeah.
In the way we play League, you're looking at about 3,300, 3,700. Few factors depending on what you're going to get in like the 15-minute period.
Yeah.
So your items really matter. They got Rift Herald. So it is 15-2 currently. And it looks like there may be another death on the top side of the map. For Eclipse right now, you might not want to surrender the game. It might be too early. You might not really care. Herb is actually in a pretty dangerous spot because technically, even if they could kill Pip-Boy could steal a kill back, which is good. But it looks like they're just playing this well, and the Ravens have stepped up their game. I think they are looking to challenge and really show that they are one of the strongest league teams in the league. And with the addition of KIC, who hasn't been here for some of their other games, their coordination is also looking terrifying.
Well, it's funny to look at, right?
Pip-Boy
Because look at who's left in the playoffs. You have these 2 teams,
And it looks like we have a surrender. I saw someone leaving the game, so I'm assuming that.
and
you can
hear Pastor Herb get loud.
Eclipse forfeited. To keep it very simple, once you're down that many points in the way we play here at the league with that point system, the unfortunate thing is now you have to bet on your opponent making a mistake. As fighting game players, we don't like to be in a situation where we can't decide, whether or not we win or lose. The opponent has to mess up, but we have a tied game.
And this is very interesting. More so than Wreckfest, this game kind of sets the parameters for the potential matchup in the finals, right?
Yes.
So if Eclipse make it, you have the Reapers looking at this, and you have the bots looking at it like, okay, we can beat them in this game. Let's take note of that. If the Ravens go to the finals, you have the bots, and you have the Reapers looking at it like, okay, so how do we deal with whatever they're deciding to do? What do we ban? What do they pick if we ban these characters? And if they pick these, how do we counterplay it? So this is one of those games that the other side is looking at like, cool, more information. Let's note that.
Yes. True to the highest degree. League is one of those games. On that note that you brought up, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I believe that the bots are the best league team in the league and will probably... The Ravens can compete. But beyond that, I think the bots would be the favorite. But we got to see that game tomorrow between them and the Reapers. The Reapers have been grinding league.
But it's interesting because I think the bots... Reapers, right? The Reapers are probably the favorite to come out of that conference.
Yes.
But the bots are a scary team. This game's won. How many games can you look at and a team and be like, no team is ever playing them, or at least if they play them, they're not challenging them in this, right?
Yeah.
And we have StarCraft for the bots, and we have League of Legends right off the rip.
Most teams shouldn't even begin, whereas every other team, to your point, isn't doing that for most games. Yeah, you might have racers, which are 1v1s for a team like Eclipse, right? Yeah. If Jerry's up and you don't have a racer, you kind of say, okay, I know what this is going to happen. But the difference is having some of those team games that lock down 4 people for rotation, for example, in StarCraft, that you just have to forfeit. You now have to be like, what's the best way that I'm just going to give up 4 players? Like, do I just throw away
League of Legends
these players? Because if League had rolled there, it could have been the worst situation to come up. Now, next up, got a 3v3 coming out.
Oh, we have Roller Champs. So go ahead and tell the people how we play this game.
If you don't know, Roller Champs is a best of 1, but the way it works is you got to think about a roller derby. And I think you might have been the person to mention it.
Emperor's New, Road to El Dorado.
Road to El Dorado. It's the game where you hit the ball with your hip. In this case, they carry it. But you're trying to hit a hoop on the wall to score points. If you go around once, you get 1 point. Go around twice,
Go
3
around the
points.
ring.
Yes. You got to go around the entire ring twice. If you do 3 times, you get 5 points. 5 points will win you the game. And once you break
Automatically.
5 points, it goes there. It's a best of 1, 6 minutes. So there's a time element to this that players can play if you understand how people go. And what I'm looking at is that we might be in for a good game.
Because it's Chicken, him, and Cutters versus Jury, Phoenix, and Nexus. And they have to feel confident because think about it. They're putting Jury and Nexus in. 2 of the people they probably anchor more often than not, and they're putting Chicken Tech in.
Chicken Tech has said multiple times that he's the best player in this game, individually in the entire league. He has said this since early in the league. He has consistently done this, and I think I want to know how recently have both teams watched the other play to know what their general play style is. It looks like we're just trying to get everybody into game. Once again, it's been a rough day for technical issues, but we all have that. Your PC at home sometimes just decides that it will not cooperate, or your console.
So we have Jury on PC 7, Phoenix on 11, Nexus on 8, Chicken on 5, Cutters on PC 1, and we're still waiting for him. But notice too, like Jury and like Chicken and Cutters as a combo is so potent, and so is Nexus and Jury.
And there we go. We got the DC Eclipse comfortable on their station. RGB rocking on Jury's keyboard, ready to go. But yeah, I agree. Like, I think in most situations, there's a situation here where, like, looking at Eclipse's team, you have Jury, which is, team captain. We hear a lot about Jury. He was very quiet this season. Wasn't actually playing too many games. Playoffs have come now, so, he's jumping in. Phoenix, who quietly is probably one of the best all-around, like, players in the league, where you could throw him into. Honestly, I can't think of a game that he is just bad in.
But you know what is interesting? This leaves one person out of rotation for both teams.
Who? I'm trying to think. I got to think about who that would be.
Pip-Boy.
So they're hoping for a fighter, okay.
Do you want to know who's on the Ravens side?
Her.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about a tale as old as time, as you brought up before, for a very long time. If we're talking about Eclipse Ravens history, Pip-Boy versus Herb has been one of those matchups that time and time again, who will get the edge to give their team an edge in fighting games?
And I don't think the Ravens have. Well, I don't think Pip-Boy has ever lost to the Ravens in Street Fighter.
I'm sorry, I was drinking and you said that, and I So that is an amazing idea statistic that you're bringing up there, and I know that we are sitting here now looking at Pip-Boy to say, "Hey, Pip-Boy, you want Street Fighter role, don't you? You wanna go in." And I think on the other side, one thing that has to be addressed is this isn't that same Ravens team.
It's not. They got Cutters, but on the flip side, Jury's no slouch.
While I agree with you, him has swept the team this season.
Oh, and now we get roller champs.
Ooh, right into roller champs. We'll talk about Street Fighter if it rolls.
And I believe this is Karma that we are spectating.
Yes, we'll be spectating Karma all day. So it looks like, he moving, but Karma gets the ball back with a quick steal. Actually, the Ravens ended up back with the ball in their possession.
Tekken 7's next.
And Eclipse, that is my fault. Thank you so much, production. All right, so both teams here, the Ravens and Eclipse, are both fighting for this ball. Neither team is really getting any momentum to actually start pushing it around the ring.
It's just one team gets it and the other team just kind of gets it right back. But now we've seen them get spread out a little bit more. We're not seeing so there's a thing you can do. You can go just keep going up and down, get the momentum, and just kind of ride along the wall, or like use your momentum to kind of help. But
deny. They almost had an opportunity at a shot there. I feel like they played it close because they were worried about getting tackled, but you can take that shot from a little further back. But this immediately gives Eclipse a really fast runaround, and they have an open shot.
You just take the
he got hit, but he managed to drop the shot anyway. PC7 Jury coming in clutch.
They were playing the player and not the ball.
Yes. I think the hope there was to jump tackle and to stop the ball, but Jerry just
Said, nah.
razor the steel focused on that shot and managed to go ahead and get in. Now the Ravens are playing from the back foot. They were close to making it in as well. This should be, honestly, I think Jerry gets to this ball first, doing a great job here, coming around, getting some momentum.
And with how close this game has been, like this is the pivotal type of games, right? Where a game that you had the potential to win and you end up losing, right?
Yes.
But it's only been a minute. Surprisingly, with all that's going on, it's only been a minute. And I wonder what the Ravens' strategy is. Are they going to – so it seems like they have everybody right next to each other. I wonder if they're going for more like they're going to have the person with the ball and 2 enforcers.
It seems like that's what they're doing here. So currently PC1 has it. Cutters has control of the ball. Chicken Tech was moving pretty quickly.
And then it looks like Eclipse did take the ball back.
Yes, but the Ravens are quick to steal it back themselves. I'm wondering what situation, because Cutters is a solid enforcer. He has been since the game came out. And I know he and Chicken have worked on pretty consistently strategies, and him is no slouch in sports either. But it just seems like they cannot stop the pressure coming out of Eclipse. Eclipse, to your point, is running this kind of 2-1 strategy where Jerry's kind of always waiting on this opposite side while the other two, Phoenix and Nexus, are looking to chase the ball. They got to stop his momentum. Last time he made it around this last corner, he was able to get a shot.
Are they going to get the ball back? Are they going to get the ball back? Oh,
and
no.
Jerry picks it right back up, and he said, oh, but it knocked down. Somebody on the Ravens has to touch it.
Yep.
But Jerry got it right
back.
back.
But that's still better than them not having – because you get down 2 points here, and with how this game has been going, that's extremely difficult to change the tide.
Now, when you see Jerry run up against his teammates, he's pushing off to get some speed. The Ravens have taken the ball back, and that looks like Chicken Tech. He doesn't really have a whole lot of speed, and Jerry is still trying to tackle him, looking if he was going to make a play off the wall.
He needs somebody to help him here.
All right, so the Ravens' lap begins here. That's 1 gate pass. They got to pass at least 2 more and then throw it through the 4th.
And it looks like that's what they're trying to do now. They're trying to gain – he's trying to gain that speed. He's trying to open them up a little bit.
I don't like him just waiting here. They need to get
push
some
it down, and they lost the ball.
Yeah, you got to get some space there. If you're just trying to dodge people forever, you're going to eventually get hit. Jerry with a nice tackle there. Who gets it? The Ravens end up with the ball. It is going back and forth, but right now, I think the defense coming out of Eclipse is going to be the tail.
And then they got the ball right back.
Yep. Calling for the ball. He gets it, and he has some open space. Somebody needs to immediately start turning around if they want to stop him here. All three are right
there. All they got to do is
he can throw it. He can just aim it and throw it through that gate. He doesn't even need to run there.
Oh, but they need to get the ball. Do they get the ball? They do not get the ball.
They threw it for a shot. He misses it. Now he can go around for a second time here, or is he just looking for this quick shot? He's looking for the point.
Yep.
Denied!
He stole it. Oh, man.
An amazing goalie play coming out of the Ravens.
What an amazing defensive play there.
Yes.
And you wonder, how much of that is going to matter at the end of this game, right? Because if it becomes 1-1 here,
we will go into overtime, but it's so close. But all 3 players are chasing again. They got to work together to stop this ball. They cannot hold on to control of it. Where I think this was a game
this has been a slugfest.
Yeah.
I've seen more collisions in this one than I've seen in Wreckfest.
1 player to beat here. 1 player to beat. It looks like Jerry can just take the shot from here. If you don't know, you can throw it through the gate. The ball is what has to pass it. You don't personally have to go through here. And we see so many teams maybe being worried about the shot or somebody defending goal. Here we go. I'm looking and my
and they're doing the same thing they were doing last time. They were trying to gain momentum, but
Chicken Tech denied that shot. Chicken Tech has, I think, he was outspoken about how much he practiced and felt like he was an amazing player in the league. And honestly, going down 2-0 in the situation they were in is really bad. But the issue is they have to get around this ramp now. They don't have any more time. And Jerry with the precise.
And if I'm Jerry, I'm just holding. I'm trying my best. Yep. I'm ducking and weaving. But so the issue is I don't think they had enough good ball movement.
It's one of those things that somebody has to touch him. You have to just tackle him. You have to get it out of his hands, and you have to pick it up.
Yep, that's game.
And Eclipse goes ahead and takes roller champions, and I will bet money that was something that the Ravens thought was theirs.
Yeah, they were like, we were talking about earlier, sports was one of the games that we kind of favored more so to the Ravens. Granted, it's not a traditional sports game, but still, sports category nonetheless.
Yeah.
Now we have Tekken 7 coming up.
Now, this is one of those things, because you mentioned one person left for the Ravens.
And it's Pastor Herb, So here's an interesting thing. Do you even throw Chicken Tech in for this game? I don't think
No.
you throw him in.
No, I think them flying in KIC was purposeful, especially for this Eclipse match, to hold Chicken Tech for those racers. If a racer doesn't roll, that's fine. Send him in, he'll reset, and he'll be available.
Because here's the interesting thing. If Eclipse feels like they can win this, they're sending Jury in. So we're going to see from the lineup. We're going to see straight from the lineup if they think that they're going to win.
My worry here is how much have they watched KIC? Because, again, I think they have strong Tekken players, but even without KIC here, they don't normally beat Herb at Tekken.
I think only one team has ever beaten the Ravens.
In
Actually,
box.
let me rephrase that. One team, two separate instances that Herb has lost Tekken.
What
Two
team was
instances.
that?
It was the bots and the Boos. Same thing. So the bots beat them more recently, as everybody's seen. But I want to say it was Scans has beaten Herb in the league setting.
So this isn't uncalled up. Like, Pip-Boy in fighting games in general can take it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of those things where, like, Herb's primary fighter.
Yeah. This is his best one.
This is a game that maybe 5 to 10 people in the league know as well as he does.
Yeah.
And, like, that's to a degree a stretch. You're, like, again, you mentioned the Street Fighter. I would love to see the statistics on, well, you said the only two people to ever beat them would have been the bots, previously the Boos. So that makes me think that Herb's record versus Eclipse in Tekken has to be similar to Pip and him in Street Fighter.
And here's the thing. I want to say that Street Fighter has rolled up more than matchups than Tekken has. I feel like that's true. I could be wrong, but I always feel like Street Fighter is rolling, but Tekken rolls, but not that often.
I want to highlight, because you mentioned lineup, so we're going to go ahead and bring those right to you all. But they did not send in Jury. In fact, Eclipse went Pip-Boy, AJ, Spicy, Snappy, Phoenix.
They're not. Oh, another person they did not put in, Nexus.
And
So-
Nexus is a
Paul.
solid Tekken player.
Yes, so they do not think they win this. So they're either forfeiting this, or they are. At least in my opinion, I could be wrong. These people could have been. These people could have been in practice mode and being like, "We need to do Miguel practice."
Yeah,
But I think that because if you put Jury in right now, then I'm trying to think. Pitbull was the last one. No, I don't think he could have gone in.
Who?
I'm trying to think. So yeah, he could have gone in. So I think.
No, because Pip would have been the last person, and
So-
it would have reset, but you would have had Jury on reset.
So yeah, now you have the people left are Pip, Jury, and Nexus.
Yes.
For them, and for the Ravens, it's going to be Herb. Left, it's going to be what's his name? It's going to be Chicken Tech, and I'm missing one other person.
What? Because
No, why? Herb,
him.
and Chicken Tech is left in the lineup, and then for the other side, it's going to be Pip-Boy, Nexus, and Jury.
Yeah, but I think this instance is a perfect example of why they brought KIC in. I think KIC is
They
on
putting KFC in first.
almost, and that does not surprise me. Once he gets warmed up, he is a terror to deal with. But even beyond that, KIC is the type of player that most teams would want to anchor.
Yeah.
But on the Ravens, because they have
Chicken
the
Tech
depth they do,
and Herb.
Cutters, Chicken Tech, and Herb, he becomes that piece where we can send in a heavy hitter and still sitting in the back, you
Have
know you have to
comfortable.
deal with Herb and Chicken Tech if something else rolls. And so now you have the situation where I don't think it's impossible. So the Katarina is going to go ahead, and that's going to be
KIC.
KIC. And I didn't see who he was up against.
I did not quite.
We had
see
a
that.
real quick flash. It's just the Katarina. You notice Katarina is all I'm saying.
I think we were at Heihachi stage.
Yes, we were.
I saw it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it flashed up there for like, we'll be getting
Something
into the game
about the
here
colors,
shortly.
yeah.
But Pip-Boy will be going in first. So this tells me they're probably going to see, hey, can Pip-Boy win? If not, we're just going to FF and keep it moving.
Yeah, so Falcon Rom probably. I know he was learning Marduk,
Ooh, that could be a nice surprise pick.
but I don't think. So here's the thing: I don't think it matters because I'm sure Herb knows Marduk better than Pip knows Marduk.
And in the situation, like having someone sitting next to you that can just tell you not real. And the big thing about KSC is he's quick to learn. If you tell him like, oh, you can sidestep
and
that.
then just fuck around.
If you tell Cassie you can duck that, you can sidestep that, you can do this, he will actually respond pretty quickly. Boom.
Yep.
And
kick.
boom.
He's gonna carry him to the wall. Yep. No, he's dropped his wall combo.
That he just.
Oh.
Yep.
He's trying to get him to the wall, launch, and he's gonna break the wall here.
He can take a bunch of damage. Don't let Pip get started, because Pip is a monster in his own right.
Oh no, this
will slip and fall to it. He was said nope. This is I'm trying to tell everybody out here. This is a matchup of pure emotion. This is a matchup purely about pride on the line.
Because people have pride in Tekken. They have pride in Tekken. They have pride in Overwatch.
Now, what is crazy to me? All right, boom. Cassie, I know gotta have said something, because Pip-Boy playing like nah, I'm proving a point here. Understand, you not Herb. You not Herb. Is he getting a second round here? We're cutting back over to us. For those that do not know, Eclipse did go ahead and forfeit, which is why
What game do you want right now? Personally, I want NHL.
Personally, I want StarCraft, but that's not going to get played. So,
Left 4 Dead.
That is another Eclipse.
I think. No, it's funny. I think the Ravens also historically struggle with this.
Yeah, especially into Eclipse. I think Eclipse has performed ridiculous in this game, and I would love to find out who wins RPS here, because that's going to, I think, end up mattering the most.
So we haven't had a shooter, but can we say this is a shooter for all intents and purposes?
It's a strategy game, but the way a lot of people play matter. KIC, I know, is feeling some type of way. He definitely wanted to get in there. We see TLG's head, the former Raven sticking in there. He knows exactly what it means to run into Pip-Boy. And
yeah, running into Pip-Boy is not a fun time.
Yes, it's a wall that you just have to at some point get over. And no matter how good you think you are, you have to. It's going to take more energy, skill, and time than you might think. So, again, we both kind of called that. You made the call early on with Jerry not being in the line.
Yep, and tied back up. Back and forth.
2-2 is our current score.
And
Jerry not being in kind of was the tail, but we knew that was a forfeit.
And honestly, a lot of times in the past when we've seen Eclipse play against the Ravens, it's usually something where the Eclipse takes a big lead, and then Ravens kind of make the lead a little bit better looking for them. Yeah. And they make the attempt to catch up, but they can't quite get there. This has been a really highly contested game.
Yes, and that's I'm letting you know right now. What's really scary is after last week's Ghost Bots game that came down to the very end, playoffs is shaping up to be immaculate.
And at least we know it won't be Tekken, won't be the last game.
Street Fighter? If we want to just bet it along.
I think if they both have full lines, I think the Ravens play that from an ego standpoint. I think the Ravens. I believe it was KIC said they're not losing any fighters today.
Yeah, I think that
he said he could sweep them in 3 of them.
In my personal planning, I literally made the point to people, to my team formerly when I was on the Bucks. I was like, hey, we can contest them in a couple of fighters. They're like, oh, what if they flew KIC out? I'm like, we're losing all of them. He will cover the ones that we have a chance at. He is one of the
he's an eraser.
The fighters that he really will cover, which if they come up will be fun to see. I don't think I would call Tekken one of them, funnily enough. I think Herb is still their best Tekken player for free. So what did roll again?
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
So you want to tell the people how we play Left 4 Dead in the league?
Very simple. It's a simple versus match. You play on the finale. Whoever gets more points wins. So do you know your map? Do you know your route? Do you know you're infected to stop the enemy team from winning? You got an RPS for that. Boom, hit the rock.
And you don't have to kind of know how to play all the role, right? Like you're not gonna be able to just be smoker or like a spitter or.
You have to know, and you have to know how to combo with your team, which is something. Even I see a lot of teams in the league know how to I know what a charger does.
Yeah.
Do you know how to use that charger with
in conjunction?
Another unit, or do you know how to say okay, I'm doing this, you do this, you do this,
and then also have the situational awareness to be like, okay, we're at this point in the map. This is probably a good choke point. This is probably a place that we can get a lot of optimal plays.
Yes.
Off of.
So Going in, we have him, Watt, Chicken, and Herb. KJ,
wait.
excuse me. There was a slight
Pick
R
up.
Doc was a little bit of hiccup. On the flip side, Jury is coming back in. Jury is coming in, not having gone in Nexus, Pip, and it looks like they're bringing in
Snappy on
Snappy.
the rotation. So for just to keep up with the rotations, him, Chicken, and Herb had to go in, and KJ's the first person on the rotation.
Which I think is fine for them. I think like KJ has a lot of strong ties, especially to the shooter category. He plays fine in fighters as well. Like he has good coverage, but I think they're not mad to use him in a game that requires aim. They're really happy to go ahead
And
and put
then
him
Jury, Nexus, and Pip have to go in, and Snappy's the first one in.
in.
So it
Once,
looks like the Eclipse are choosing effective first. Now let me tell you something. Him, Chicken, and Herb having to go in for a game is usually not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Think about that. Him, Chicken, and Herb. That's three really good players. And on opposite side, Jury, Nexus, and Pip. Three really good people.
yes. Both him and Nexus, having worked with both of them in the rookie sophomore game, are incredibly coachable. Even in stuff where you might expect them to be unfamiliar, both of them were like butter
And that's the thing,
to
like
work with.
with him, we keep talking about the games that he's picked up. We talked about that a lot, but he came in good at
A
like
lot
yeah,
already.
like NHL is the most distinguished for me, right? Like how good he is and how much that fits already in the what the Ravens want to do, right? Like
Yes.
Ravens are really big on NHL, these sports games.
Those sports games, yeah, they were already strong. So
But-
Left 4 Dead is coming up, and we get Cold Stream. We don't usually see this map. I think it picked up a little bit of favor in the second half of the season.
If this is the map that I'm thinking, yes. So last season,
Mhm.
Ravens, Karma, formerly Karma, now Eclipse. I believe this was the last game played, and this was the stage chosen.
Yes.
And the Ravens lost
for the
Conference
same
ch-
situation literally last season. Back in what it would have been January or March, excuse me. Back in March, literally beat for beat, the reason why the Ravens played in the third, fourth place matches because of this map.
and they made a bad play at the end.
Yes. But already, I don't like the situation. Pastor Herb is surrounded, hit by a boomer, taking a bunch of damage. PC3, which looks to be him, is also taking a bunch of damage on the top. Pip is just waiting with the smoker, looking to get another strong grab. Somebody has to get Herb out now. They're already going down. He's pretty much lost somebody before the game has even started. Another quick spawn. Both of them are just trying to get in here and come in from behind. A nice spit to just deal more damage. The Ravens might not make it out of spawn, let alone to the end of the map like last season.
And then this is what we see from the Eclipse is they are really good at this game, and the Ravens a lot of times struggle. Now,
Oh, and I see your Eclipse getting loud. Eclipse knows that the clock is ticking, and they may have just ended this game before
and
it even began.
Eclipse don't get loud like this, right?
Yes.
I wonder how much of this is their owner Vernon saying, "I need you."
48 points. I think that is the lowest score we have seen out of any Left 4 Dead game we've had this season. They took 2 steps out of the house, and the street lights came on. And what happens when the street lights come on?
You gotta get back home.
Boom, done. So now,
Eclipse. If I'm Eclipse, I mean they're probably gonna play it their own way. You can literally just run out, clear a path, and get further than they did.
so this is the funniest part to me. Do you play time if you're Eclipse?
I don't because I feel like both of these teams believe that they cover more on the wheel than the other team.
A nice attempt at a charger.
You really mainly only play time when you think, well, one, at the end of the game when you're up by a significant amount
I
of points.
saw a quick tab. I think they've already won, even without having to think too hard. I'm pretty sure they already won. I'm pretty sure that was enough points.
But yeah, the other way you play time is if you think you cover less games on the wheel, and and the other thing is if it's near the end of the game and you're like up 3 points with 20 minutes left to go. But
So yeah, I will say for people wondering why I mentioned if they play time, if you pick infected first, you control the pace of the game because now that they have more points, because they picked infected first, they can either play this map out to its ending, or they can let themselves die and have the game be over. You control the pace of the game.
Well, there's another Charger that just kind of whiffed there.
And it's on the opponents to make a play. They had to make a play far faster than now to be able to stop it, and it looks like Eclipse is just running through. Eclipse is like, you don't know this map. You don't. I'm going to guess Eclipse 1 RPS because this just seems like they are super coordinated, moving directly into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, this is one of the games that I think KIC was speaking about, him being able to sweep in.
All right, so let's see. So it looks like, who are we watching? We are watching...
Not Snappy, not PC8. It's Jury. We're watching Jury.
Oh, fair enough. We're watching their team captain. Who we have not seen Jury a lot this season.
Yeah.
They got to a perfect record without their best player in a lot of their games.
Yeah. Eclipse as a whole is a pretty young team around college age. And after the season, like, there's been a lot of speculation about what the team is going to look like. And even with Jury not being here, right? What this team's future looks like, I think they're still showing. This is, I don't want to call it a last rodeo because we know the team is going to still be there. We know that they're a dynasty that is in place, but very much I'm looking for new leaders to pop up here.
Well, you have Rick Fosai. Rick Fosai is an amazing leader. Now, we don't get to see him play much, but amazing leader. We have Coach P. Karma has a lot of really good leaders on the team. Now, you don't generally look for one person per se. You look at it as a collective.
Yes. So why was the tank just standing there, I wonder?
Menacingly.
I think that, this is the other option that I was thinking of. The Ravens are still playing. They're still trying. But they are also, because they want the game to end, they want to they're giving them more room to progress quicker. This is the best way for them to essentially get the game over as soon as possible.
Without actually forfeiting the game.
Yes. You don't want to burn a forfeit even in a situation where you've already pretty much won or you've already lost a game unless you have to. League, they would have had to be there for 15 minutes. Here, Eclipse can reach the end of the map and just kind of end the game.
And that's one thing to think about is that there's ways to make the game go quicker. Essentially like a pseudo forfeit, right? Like F1. Oh, I'm just going to
crash yourself out.
Yeah.
And here we see them like, they're moving for it, but they can get to the helicopter. Okay, whoever this is a troll. Whoever this is just the biggest troll.
And a Molotov right there.
A little bit of pride, but they all four get into the helicopter. This should be a perfect score coming out of Left 4 Dead. Once again, I believe they did it last season as well.
So let's see what the point differential is, because 48-2.
It's going to be like 800. I'm going to let you know right now. It's not going to be pretty. It is 800 flat.
That's a 752-point difference.
900, excuse me.
852-point difference.
God.
So, JoJo, how do you play this if you're the Ravens? Because you're going to be left with 3 people in, right? So, optimal lineup for the Ravens would be Chicken Tech, Herb, KIC.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we see that?
I think we see KIC definitely is going to go in. I think this is, again, one of those
Herb.
games.
I feel like you put Herb in just because.
If you want to secure this and keep the game tied up, you go ahead and throw Herb in.
So, from the opposite side, I think we see Pip-Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we see Phoenix. And I'm not sure who that last one is.
Historically, they have played... I'm trying to think about when we played them. Snappy has played the game some.
Was it Tegeta?
Tegeta has also played the game some, but he's not the biggest fan of the game as well.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, I know Snappy has touched the game, so he's another player that could come in.
So for those that don't know, JoJo Bizarre Adventure, 3v3.
Yes.
Every team has to have. You can't double up on characters and you can't double up on assists.
Yes, you have to basically play unique combinations across an entire team.
And the assists are interesting because you have an offensive meter, offensive.
So the way assists work in this game, they work as both your offensive assistants
and defensive
breakers.
Yeah, breakers. Essentially, I was trying to think of the correct.
Yeah,
word.
I was also looking for it.
So some assists have 2 offensive, and some have 2 defensive. Some have both, but they're usually 2 and 1.
They're more oriented one way or the other, along with what the actual ability they use.
Like for instance, but we have Akira, right? Akira has 1 offensive and 2 defensive.
That's the one that plays the music and gives you. It's 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. And that's one thing you have to think about. And another one that we've seen, and I'm really bad with names because I don't watch the show,
Yeah.
but it's the one, I think it's Jotaro, is it? The one that has the multiple punches?
Yes. So Jotaro, one of the main
It's
characters.
2 and 1.
There's one that's 2-1. I think there's one that's 2-2. He's the conventional one, mainly because the
His-
way his ability works is really good for combo extension.
Yeah, because he gives you so much time to, like, do whatever you want with that combo. But so essentially, and then you have to pick 3 unique characters. You don't recover health in between. That's different than Street Fighter. You don't recover health in between, and you, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You essentially, like, there's different mechanics
Yes.
that you think about, right? Like, there's characters who, if they have a bar left and you kill them, then guess what? They come back.
Yes. So that's going to be, funnily enough, that leads right into Phoenix. Phoenix, one of the people going into, actually, Phoenix and a lot of Eclipse in general play one of those characters that even if you kill them with a bar left, they come back alive. We'll see that coming out of both of them. Now, funnily enough, we didn't talk about it, but I don't expect to see KIC and Chicken Tech ever both play JoJo's because they play the same character, and you can't have that
Same
double
character.
up there. So we'll see that. Pip-Boy is going to play Kira. Out of KIC, we're looking at Kakuin. He has this really long range attacks,
yeah.
and he can be really tricky if you don't know exactly how to deal with him.
Like, so in a lot of the fighting games that people aren't necessarily good at, or that, like, you're playing as scrubs, fireballs, keep them at a distance, right? It's the same thing with JoJo's, except for not only do you have to worry about the fireballs, the emeralds that he shoots out, you have to worry about the vines, and then he has a command grab on the, like, it's just.
What I hope is that KIC gets the chance to show off some of the stuff that character can do, because he can
It's
touch
crazy.
you, and the simplicity and just getting damage, not as great as some characters.
Diego.
Yeah, I'm gonna quietly smile and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
my character's completely fair. But
There's
yeah,
no such thing as a
we'll
fair
see him
character
getting the
in the
judges. I want to see what people want to do. And then Herb plays Jonathan, pretty standardly, and I cannot remember who him plays. But there's a lot of
Probably
like
Pet
safe-
Shop.
I think I
played
remember from last week's game.
Pet Shop.
He was going in. Them
Auto
icicles was
combos?
coming out. Yeah, I think he accidentally paused or something that
Happened,
ended up.
yeah. So then we have
falling.
Pit,
And
Phoenix,
pauses, for those that don't know, cost you a life normally in fighting games. In JoJo's, where you share a health, you have a singular health bar before the next person comes in. If you accidentally pause, you're out. So this comes back to like, hey, you can't just randomly be mashing. You kind of have to have some control and understanding over your character. Team structure matters here in the UEL because, hey, do you play KIC first and let him build a bunch of bar and meter and do what he does?
Because certain
risk him
characters do
taking
better
damage.
with more
Yes.
bar. So I want another thing. I want to see what stage, because there's a stage, I want to say it's called Ball Run. Is it the one that has a singular point that lights up and you get
Correct.
me?
So it's under Steel Ball Run, which is the
Yeah.
JoJo. I think it's Philadelphia, technically, the name. It's one of the 2 Steel Ball Run maps.
Yeah.
But yes, the stages in JoJo's have gimmicks. It gives you a free meter if you touch the light.
And the vampires, that you can't play them in the stages that have daylight.
All right. Now, I didn't know that.
Yes, I forgot about that, because it's one thing that people don't think about. If your character choice can force the other team to not play a certain map. Because I want to say it's the vampire characters you can't play on daylight stages.
All right. So we don't have any of the vampire characters.
Guido. I'm guessing Guido would be.
So this is, on the left here, this is going to be him. I can
and
tell you right
look
now.
where they are at.
Yep, they are on Philadelphia. So the gimmick on this stage, and this is the safe pick. I'm going to assume that this is spicy. This is the safe pick coming out of the Eclipse. We're getting buttons set up here. Takes a little bit. Everybody gets the right to, check their buttons and make sure everything
And I'm curious because
is running correct. We're getting another wheel spin here, and next up is
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
So Akira. So it's gonna be interesting because I want to know how much they know about this character, because this character has a lot of, you can do a lot of cross ups, and
Yes.
and if you don't know, like that and then yep.
And I think they just started them off with some projectiles, and this is your first knowledge check. Do you know how to get across the screen? Yep.
This is actually him.
Him versus Spicy, yeah. So Ikaro is a good just default character, default option to
Yep. So it's him versus
play into
Spicy right
both
here.
of these characters. So Yukako has really long range with her hair attacks,
But
she has
you
to
know
get in
that.
initially, and it looks like they just have him set up.
So he has. So for those that don't know, if you look at the player one side, if you look at the assist, right, you see how he can't use it. If you look at that diamond, that is your defensive assist, and if you look at the circles, that is your offensive assist. So you see that he has 2 defensive assists and 1 offensive assist. He only has 1 left for this round, but I'm not sure that matters too much. And she's one of the characters that has a revive, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
When she dies here after this super, you'll see her go into an animation and then wake up, and now she is more powerful than she was before. But it looks like him is just going to stick with this projectile. Yep, they're now telling him to jab a little bit. If he can get another auto combo in, it can be big damage.
And
Nice
at this
throw.
point, he does not have a assist anymore, a defensive
Yep.
assist.
And the armor coming off of her, once she revives, she does have armor on some moves.
So you grab, wake up, grab.
And he's dead. Now, he did go ahead and burn this. I don't know, actually, if this carries over into the next round.
No.
My assumption would be the health does, but does the state? Because she has to die to achieve that state normally. And does he have to build another meter? This should be
So let's
KIC
see.
coming up next.
Yep.
And hopefully we get to see a little bit of sauce coming out here with them holding Herb in the background
Oh, he has to put in his.
buttons. So he was a little bit quick there on the jump. It does look like she reverts to her normal state. We will find out exactly what's going on. I'm assuming he's going ahead and he's getting his stick, I think, configured and
And
connected.
that's the interesting thing is you have to you have to set these up and have
It's a really small thing that the person needs to turn off the controller, make sure that it shows on screen. That turning off the controller, because if you don't, for pads that you have to plug in, and I know this because I play on pad, it has to show your controller's been disconnected, reconnect and press A.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will not detect your controller if somebody was playing with a wireless controller. KIC plays on Hitbox. He has his converter this week. I'm hoping.
which he didn't have last week.
Correct. He learned very quickly that not every hitbox has a universal board to be able to run immediately. So we'll go ahead and get this set up. I guess they just went ahead and started. He checked his buttons. He has the combo and she's dead. So that's something that's really fun for people to know. The characters that have extra health, you don't, or extra lives, you have to reactivate that state the next round. You don't just get to keep the benefits of it round to round.
Okay, so this character.
This
has-
is Phoenix. I
Yep.
can tell you that.
This character has a almost like a TP where he'll come up above you. One thing that I've not seen people do yet when this against this character is you can stylist dodge, and what that means is right there stylist dodge. Okay, or you can just.
And
back
here
up.
we go. Nice job breaking it. Cassie, I think, wanted to set up a flower there, which he wasn't able to do. Phoenix has a lot of tricky setups. This character also can left-right you with that slide if you're too close. Cassie is not going to let him, though, get in that range. Cassie should be able to get full combo off of this. Going up, boom, catch him again, bring him back down. He drops it, though.
I wonder how much of that had to do with the stage.
Yeah, you have to have wall combos, funnily enough. Similar to Tekken, you have to know exactly how much space. He's keeping space to not let the free cross-up come in. And boom, boom, boom. Does he got it this time? Into super. He
No,
lets
but
the hard knockdown. This is going to activate that gimmick that you were talking about.
But yep. So let's see what's going on here. Yep, using the assist to probably apply a little bit more pressure. And this is the first time that we've seen somebody go into, really go into stand mode, right? Because he
Yes.
hasn't gone into stand mode. So for those
Nice
stylus
stylus
dodge,
dodge.
and then yep, this would be auto combo. This should kill him. All right. So for those that don't know, stands give you a little bit more of a hurt box, but what it does is it gives you more different routes
Yes.
that you can go.
And Cassie, by the way, took 2 jabs, 2 or 3 jabs that entire round. He is ready to go and now running into Pip-Boy next. Now, Pip-Boy's character does have a lot of pressure. Pip-Boy's character ends up having a lot of different pressure and different opportunities here. So, essentially, what he does is he flips this coin, which is an explosive.
That can hurt both him and
Yes. But KIC's character, the range ends up being really good. And I think we saw this right before when we were getting set up. Funnily enough, KIC was talking, I think, with Global Figure, one of the better players here in the league. And the two of them were, I think, like kind of messing with this matchup a little bit. Maybe KIC getting a little bit more insight to
Oh, and
know
that's
exactly
another
what he can
thing
do.
is like, yeah, you have all these projectiles that can clank with his. And
Boom.
just
Super. Soup. My man does not care. This is one of those games that he truly believed that he could sweep in. If you don't know how to deal with this character, his range right there, the fact that you can get a jump in from nearly mid-screen feels insane if you play a fighting game. And this is it. This goes in the combo. And that's a sweep coming out of KIC.
And this is one. Remember what he said? He said there's 3. He believes that there's 3 fighting games that he could sweep in.
And there we go.
So was it 3-3 now?
It's 3-3. We not the gap is not getting bigger. It's not getting smaller. We are just
Dead by Daylight. I love that rose right here. I really do love that. Oh my god.
the Ravens are looking to win RPS, get chicken tech on killer, and make this a quick game.
And then here's the thing, no matter who 3-3.
3-3.
No matter who wins, or no matter how this all turns out, like if you're Eclipse, you have to put in those people. You have to be like, okay, who can we afford to not have in rotation here? And Chicken puts that pressure on you. You're using Chicken to count if you're playing killer. Think about that for a second. You're using, so you know this man plays the game. Who do you put in?
Chicken is scary at this game. He has not had a game on killer where he has not killed everybody. It has not been close. He has swung and beaten every single person. Now, Eclipse are very big DBD fans. They like to play and play DBD.
Seems like a lot of college age kids love that game.
And so it's really interesting to see. I don't know why. Maybe, college kids love the slasher horror films as well. And it is going to be Chicken on Killer going up against Nexus, Jury, AJ, and Spicy.
Right. So question, since we're going to talk about it, let's talk about 2 things with this game. One, how do you win?
So if you're the killer, you need to kill all the survivors will be an instant win for you.
Okay.
If you are survivors.
So so typically how would you quote unquote kill somebody? How would you get them out of the game?
So the way that you do that in DBD is you have to hit people twice. You have to cause 2 instances of damage. Some killers have the ability to do that from other methods than just literally swinging. You hit them twice, they go down. You pick them up, put them on your shoulder, and throw them on this hook. And after being on the hook for a period of time or getting hooked 3 times, the character dies and is out of the game. Now, you have to do this. So that's 12 hooks in total because you would have to get each character 3 times or have someone not be saved. There's a time limit that you can just stay on the hook. It's not forever. The survivors, if 2 survivors make it out, it's an instant win for survivors. If it's 1 survivor, it comes down to points, which is based off of doing generators, which is based off.
So explain a little bit more generators and how do you get out?
To open the doors, you have to turn on 6 generators. Your character moves around and you're creeping. You're trying to avoid the killer the entire time. You work on these generators, and there's these quick time events that you have to hit. Boom, boom, boom. And as long as you're hitting it, the generator's progressing until it finishes. You finish 6 of them, and then you can run over, open some doors, and run out and escape. Along the way, you have to avoid a killer. You have to avoid somebody chasing you. So how do you do that? You run. You jump over windows. You throw stuff down a pallet between you and him to create some space and to try to get away. And the difference between good and bad players in this game is killers knowing when should I keep chasing, when can I kill somebody, and survivors knowing what is the best way for me to be able to get away safely.
Because certain killers that you wouldn't necessarily drop a pallet like that easily, right? Like Xenomorph, right?
Yes.
You can still get from the distance, right? We're seeing a new character come out soon, or a new character announced, Chucky, who has a little bit of a different way of playing around that, right?
Yes, he can slide under pallets. I can't wait to actually see him. DBD is in Season 8, so in case people were out there thinking that you're free from the entity, you got to come on back for another matchup.
So what's your favorite killer to play?
My favorite killer to play? Oh, who is my favorite killer to play? I don't know. I've messed with a few different killers. I don't think I have a killer I
Not
absolutely
who's your
love.
best, but who do you pick up and like? I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to have fun.
I've been playing a lot of Executioner lately.
Okay.
I'll say that.
So
But
only for me. So
okay.
so we seen Petrified Oak.
So that goes ahead and spreads out hooks on the map. We saw a quick counter of that where I'm assuming Chicken Tech played the offering that makes the hooks come closer
Closer.
together. So he's trying to mitigate. The hope would be, hey, if they're further apart, it takes longer to get somebody on a hook. Maybe you run out of time, have to drop the person, or you can get a flashlight, or have different ways to save somebody.
So speaking of dropping somebody, there is a skill that when you're picking somebody up, where they have the ability to kind of wiggle around and make it more difficult for you. What skill would you say would be the most impactful right now for Karma? Or have you seen something that Karma likes, or Eclipse likes to do? When they
So the first thing I want to call out is one of them is running a flashlight, and so this ends up being pretty important because, and we already see an early chase here. We'll get a chance to see which killer chicken is playing here in
and it looks
one
like
second.
is that a med kit?
Yes, he's running a med kit here. So hey, you want to be able to heal each other, a flashlight to be able to save somebody, and I'm assuming maybe somebody else has. Uh, and Chicken playing Nurse. Nurse is considered one of the best in the game because she can kind of do things that others can't, where she can teleport distances and through walls. So if you normally would play around a pallet, you can't do it in the same way. Doing a great job of already. Jury's taken one hit, but still managing to keep Chicken Tech kind of interested and chasing. It
But
looks
the
like Chicken Tech has stopped, so Jerry's going to go ahead and heal
but the
himself.
difficult part with Nurse is knowing the distance, right?
Yes.
That and not overcommitting or anything along those lines.
This would be another big game. Is if Eclipse is able to take this, I think this is another one of those assured wins.
This is big for the Ravens because this would be the first time they're able to get a solid,
Chicken Tech on DBD, we don't normally get the chance to see him playing killer. Exactly what you're saying. I am definitely worried though because one thing that Chicken Tech might not be prepared for is the coordination coming out of Eclipse. We know them to be one of the best
coordinated
teams
teams.
in the league, and they should be communicating with each other pretty well here. We see Jerry moving to go ahead and start on another gen while we get another wall to make. Just in general, because a game you're confident in losing it can make you question
The whole
everything that you're doing.
and we're seeing a lot. This is that's the third strategy game in a row,
Yes, the strategy games are wanting to roll today.
and we're not. Guess what? We're not seeing. We're not seeing the shooters as of yet. And that's one thing that the Ravens have to keep in the back of their head is that yes, this has been nice, but we haven't rolled shooters yet. All right, so it looks like
There we go. Yeah, we are back here. Looks like I got another person picked up, but another quick down. They're at 4 gens, but it looks like Chicken Tech has started to slow down the process of them getting progress. It really does matter. Snappy's up on the hook. That's spicy for those that are wondering. He has now been hooked, and they're working on getting this gen done. It looks like they're not too worried. They recognize he has plenty of time on the hook. You don't have to rush over immediately. That's one of those new player traps where you just want to go save.
that person immediately because that person could just. Oh wow,
Ooh,
he has that perk that makes it go fast. I forget the name
Yeah,
of it
because if you mess up, that can cause huge problems. He managed to get a good hit
on somebody.
on somebody, and they got Snappy off the hook. It looks like they're doing a great job, Eclipses, of keeping him running. They're not able to get a whole lot of progress, but AJ has now gone down, so they're going to have to deal with another hook state from Chicken Tech. But he's running in and starting on a gen. I like that they're like, they know their timings. They're not just gonna immediately. Sometimes early on, like you get this idea of I need all 4 people, and AJ seems to have already been hooked once, seeing as that bar is already at halfway. So they might be in a situation where they have to go and save him a lot faster than normal.
And there's somebody right there. I wonder if Chicken Tech realizes that he's in there.
Yup.
Yes, he does.
Jury
And
is
one
running.
thing, and one thing that we can't per se hear, but how do you generally know if a killer is nearby?
You hear this heartbeat,
And
and
that's
it's terrifying.
it's called terror, right?
Yeah, it is. Their terror radius. He accidentally did it, and I think that was 3 blinks. So Chicken is running an add-on that allows him to blink an extra time. And it looks like Jury was kind of caught unaware there because after those first 2 blinks, he kind of stood there being like, all right, cool. What can I do? He dodges 1. Looks
And
like
he's
Chicken
trying
might be
to.
going for
I wonder
2.
if he's trying to loop him here because with that mecha, he's able to.
Heal himself. Should be able to go right through this. And it looks like Jury was not prepared. A lot of DBD players are good but aren't used to the nurse's teleport. And that can put you in a situation where you take a hit where you maybe thought you were a little bit
And it looks like he
safer.
has that the where he's hard to like you have to kind of crab walk a little bit just so that
Yes.
you don't end up being behind a rock. Is he going to take a chance? Because here taking a chance is a very risky play with the state of where you are right now, right?
I think they're not as worried. They know they got AJ off the hook. AJ's fully healed now. Jury and Snappy each have a hook state. PC Gamer 8, whose Nexus hasn't been like hooked yet. You're in a pretty comfortable position, even with 4 gens still to be done. You know you have time on all of them. You're working on gens. You're working towards this goal. So I don't think they're too worried. You don't take a chance there. There's no reason to take a chance. Like you take a chance when you have to. It goes back to that whole risk versus reward. Why take a risky play when you don't absolutely have to? And here we go. We're looking at it again. Oh, Snappy's getting hit. This could be Snappy's second hook state as
And
well.
one more hook stay for Snappy, and then you start to think about points
Yeah.
because the more people, the yep,
and he messes it
and
up
he
and it
can't.
locks the
Yep,
gen now. He
and
can't.
that gym was so close to being done.
Yes. And it also makes the noise. So Chicken Tech could come over and check this. He might just assume that it's bait. We have to see what his decision is going to end up being. And that difficult skill check that just keeps coming
We
really
saw
is.
earlier, and they were able to get away with it. But
Somebody's
there's
running
also
over here.
but-
Oh, they want to finish this gen now. They do not want to waste any more time. They're worried. It looks like maybe Snappy has the opportunity to have Chicken Tech locked up. That's 3. Okay, they need 3 more gens here done. They got to be careful about which gens they do select. It looks like they do know the map. This map was recently reworked. So it's funny because some of how DBD works, a lot of people know what is and isn't happening based on where certain things could be on the map and where you should be looking. So I wonder how many people have played the rework. Snappy getting a second hook state. He can't be touched again. Same for AJ. They are on a knife's edge. If there's a single mistake here and 1 or 2 of them die, they have to start considering points. My guess is going to be Nexus has probably been the person working on gens. And if I was Chicken Tech, I would be paying attention to try to find him. Force them to come save him, but Jerry's doing a great job himself of getting this gen work done.
yeah, no, they're doing a good job. But like you said, it's going to start slowing down a little bit once you Wow, yeah, he's consistently hitting those.
There's 1 gen left, and Chicken
Wow,
Tech has not killed a single player yet. We might
Do you
see.
think he starts slugging?
They have another gen.
They have 2. Yeah, you think he starts slugging now?
I don't think so. Like, he just needs to kill people. He has to down
And more.
and kill somebody. Like, he has to basically kill all 4 of them because I think points-wise, there's enough of a difference that it should be fine. Cool. He can't sit there and wait. He needs to just get these
Aggressive.
kills done. He has to get these kills done.
And we have to consider, you said Nexus hasn't been hooked, right?
Nexus has now been hooked. He's just on
Okay.
his first hook, and they are repairing. He needs to either down AJ or Snappy. He has to down them and
He
kill
can't
them.
let them finish this hook.
Yes.
Finish, not this hook, sorry. Finish this gen.
And here he is. Let's see if he picks the right person. They are wearing similar skins to try to stop
Deceive.
him from being able to figure out who he needs to down. But now AJ is back up to a full state. So Snappy is the person he's looking for. More than likely, somebody injured that he could get a kill on, and everything can work out for. He got another hit on Nexus, but they're coming right back to this gen. They're not going to stop. They're basically creating situations saying, hey, you can't handle all of us at the same time.
And it looks like a lot of their plan was to play around. Like this, I think this nurse works against a lot of teams a little less coordination.
Yeah.
But with how good they're doing, look, now they have 2 people working on this gen.
Yeah, this gen is going to be done shortly. And if Chicken Tech does not have somebody dead by the time it happens, that's game. Like, he will not be able to stop 2 people from getting out. You send 2 to each door. You have people tank hits. and then after that, you just move on and you don't worry too much about it.
And they might have somebody working on a different gen. If Chicken Tech is playing this gen, and if somebody's off playing fixing a gen someplace else, that starts putting
He
a lot of
didn't see him.
he's starting to put a lot of pressure because
Well, there should be another gen somewhere else on the map that he's going to have to check, and when he does,
did they do it in the house? I don't think they finished the one in the house.
I don't think so. He got a hit here onto Jury. Jury's running off here, but Jury is not who he wants to hit. He's smart to not go ahead and chase this, but he has to go check that other gen. He doesn't have the time to sit around and make a play here. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of progress on that other gen, so he kind of has a little bit of time. Chicken Tech should know this, but he cannot waste too much time here trying to get a kill here or there. He has to down somebody, and he needs to make a play now. The longer this takes,
The more I'm guarantee you they're working on other gens
they,
right
they
now.
are currently on. Two people are on another gen, and that gen is at like 80%. Like in the time that it takes him to hook Jury,
He's going to slug. I think he's.
no, I think he was looking around to see if somebody's around, but he doesn't realize this next gen is about to pop. And once that pops, he's in a horrible situation because now he has to down literally everybody. There is no more time waiting. There is no more time wasting. Honestly, Eclipse shouldn't care. They send people to different doors, and they just get these doors open. Because as long as two of them get out, they win regardless. He needs to go ahead, and he can't wait for this kill. Like, the game is really difficult to win here, but he can kill three people, and he has to hope that killing those three are enough to put it down.
He's trying to escape here. Looks. Oh no, he's not trying to escape. That's just the skill check.
He injured Snappy. So if he hits Snappy and puts Snappy on a hook, that's another person, but somebody's coming in. The clutch save, this will pretty much seal it for Eclipse because now they just need to move towards one of the two doors, and as long as they split the doors are open, Eclipse should take this. Just get everybody out. You don't care about that last person. That's one person. If Jury makes it out of this door, that's it. Boom.
Yep.
That's two. And Eclipse has taken Dead by Daylight, another game that I guarantee
The
you.
Ravens thought they had coming in. Especially, it has to be demoralizing when you think about it. Like, we didn't lose because we had bad rotation. We got exactly what we wanted, and we still ended up losing that. And now we have For Honor.
For Honor, we got another game, and how we do it here at the UEL might not be how you do it at home, but the way we do it, it is a best of three. First team to 2-round wins in elimination takes the whole game. And we do have equal footing because everybody has access to the same exact characters.
Yeah.
We have a limited roster, but what that does is it forces people, again, to be creative, to be smart, to not only show your skill because maybe you have the newest character available, but to also find ways to express that and really maximize what you can do with the roster that we do have available.
And it's going to be really interesting because I know the Ravens have a lot of pride in For Honor. Well, I know Chicken Tech, formerly of the Ghosts, the Ghosts were really proud of their For Honor. And I imagine that transferred over a little bit with Cutters being on the team.
Yeah, but the issue is you're playing Eclipse. Now they don't have Doomsday, who many people see as the best player in the league. But Phoenix is going in, another sleeper pick. Snappy is going in,
good.
another sleeper pick.
Phoenix is like one of those players that he needs to get talked about more.
100%. I think that, again, he plays that, like, all-around role so well and is able to compete with some of the best people in their category that it ends up mattering.
So for the
so
Ravens,
much.
so it looks like we have Watt, Cutters, KJ, and him versus AJ, Nexus, Phoenix, and Snappy. I don't think the Ravens think they win this. I could be wrong, but the Ravens should have a full reset. So this is who they're sending in. So they're leaving out KIC, Herb, and Chicken Tech.
And so what worries me here is I don't want the Ravens to get into a point where they're basically now saying, like, you never want to be in a point where you're like, I need these games to roll on the wheel.
So AJ, Nexus, Phoenix, and
And to your point, it looked like it was a quick FF for the Ravens. They weren't going to even bother to try it. I think, like, you know that about Eclipse. You know if you're up to par or up to snuff. Most people in the league should know that they aren't. And the Ravens would rather have another role on a game that they have a better chance in than they even waste
with
the energy
KIC, Herb, and Chicken Tech. That's a
If we're talking about a game that needs to roll
DBZ.
right now,
DBZ.
Mortal Kombat, DBZ, a fighter. Not
I think DBZ might be the best.
For a full reset?
Gives a clean reset.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that.
What they don't want is probably something like Fall Guys.
Because do you play Fall Guys with 3 and hope that you just win it?
No, I don't think they risk it on something like that. But let's see.
It's such a hard call. Get another roll, and this roll is looking like a racer.
FIFA.
Never mind, I can't read. FIFA coming in up next. So FIFA, that's probably KIC and Herb would be my guess if you have to send 2 in.
Because Cutters is probably somebody that you will want in for
Yeah,
that.
normally you would want KIC or Cutters in.
And I have to see what the rotation looks like for Eclipse, but I want to say AJ and Nexus are their go-to for this game.
Yeah, and this is one of those unfortunate things is in the last week, we saw the Ravens make even some of their veterans make mistakes. Just gameplay mistakes, pausing when they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Very uncharacteristic for them. Unfortunately, this week, it has looked... We haven't had those uncharacteristic mistakes, but Eclipse are just playing a cleaner game. Now, we have Jerry Pip here. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I think you still hold Chicken Tech. I think you just hold Chicken Tech because it's the smart thing to do here. And because if Eraser rolls, you have that benefit. KIC and I think Herb. Herb is already good, and I think KIC is super coachable. So it ends up working out.
All right, yep. So right now, score is 5-3. Eclipse over Ravens. You need to win. This is every game is pivotal, right? Every game matters. But you really want to go down 6-3 right here after it being a back and forth and back and forth.
We will have to get a confirmation on rosters as well because I think exactly what's all going on. Because did we miss a game rolling? Because it was what rolled during DVD? Something rolled during
For Honor.
For Honor, we skipped For Honor, and so yeah, it should be FIFA up next. So okay, it should be a 2v2.
So it's Cutters versus Herb.
FIFA, we play 3v3 Volta.
2v2.
Well, the mode is 3v3, but we play with 2
yeah.
players. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct.
We're both correct. Because we're both perfect.
And it's just 2 halves. Hey, can't find somebody more perfect than Rex.
Hey, can't find nobody more perfect than you.
That's crazy. I appreciate it. But we play 2 halves, and whichever team has more points at the end of 2 halves goes ahead and takes it. This is one of those things that I would always err towards the Ravens on.
But this is a Cutter's redemption because this was one of the games that he paused in.
He did. Oh my God! Last week
when they were already winning,
they
were up 1.
Yes, last week, and it ended up costing them the game because not only
during the animation he paused during the.
Not only did he pause, he didn't put down the controller, which led to the situation. Normally, when you pause, you're expected to put down the controller, be like, "Hey,
my bad,
I can't play anymore. It happens. That was on my fault." He continued to play, and that put his team in a situation where they had to replay the point out, and he still had to put down the controller. The scenario had to be played out, and the Gorillas ended up taking it. So I'm looking at Cutters right now. You can get excited. You know that you have your sports games. This 2K still there, but I can't have another uncharacteristic mistake. Not in a game where you need this win.
Yeah. So right now, we have Jury as red and Pip as purple. Cutters and Herb, we don't know yet. But I want to. Do we see PSG? Do we see Soccer Aid? Do we see Manchester United? We've seen a lot of. Well, more recently, we've seen Soccer Aid used more. Manchester United, I think we've seen only a handful of times throughout the season.
I think that most teams are locked in to where we're only going to see either PSG. Soccer Aid or PSG. My understanding from talking with players is Soccer Aid is a size thing.
Yeah.
A size and athleticism, whereas like objective best players
is all going to be on PSG.
Yeah. So we'll see if people want to try to use that height to maybe some advantage. Maybe they play a lob pass heavy game.
Plays a little bit different. It seems like more of a quick knowledge check. The teams have to play against your team a little bit different.
Yes, especially again, same thing. Longer limbs, taller players. It can set up these scenarios that
in normal situations this will work.
Yes,
but how we're playing it right now, it's not going to work.
Yes, and so we will be we'll be doing that. We do things again. I like to say we do it different here because we're looking for the best overall gamer. Too many leagues around the world or too many games around the world. They have this hyper specific rule set to say, hey, play our game this way. and that will make you the best in the world. But that's not finding the best gamer. That's not finding the person that all around,
That's the
regardless of
best
what
test
happens,
taker.
you can get. Boom. I love that. I love that. Think about it. Does to those that are out there, does school accommodate the smartest person
Or
or
the best test taker.
yeah, for however they operate that person that works the best there.
But another thing that's interesting about Vota, oh, look at Pip Boy
okay,
over
Pip
there.
Boy, okay.
Watch, he about to do something with his hair. He's about to.
Oh, my man flips it. My man hits the Fabio flip. Look, random winners is gonna come from nowhere in there and just yes.
Put a fan right next to him.
L'Oreal.
Can we have a constant fan on Pip Boy?
Here we go, 3-5. The Ravens are looking at this clutch win. Both Herb and Cutters are veteran sports players of the league. They're known for their sports talent. And looking at Eclipse, Jury and Pip are not the immediate players that I would pick for them for sports, but both have been in the league long enough that I expect them to kind of be able to hold their own in a FIFA game, a game that's consistently been on the wheel.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we'll see. And the interesting thing is FIFA, how it's played, as opposed to regular FIFA, is that you have walls. Or you can opt to go to no walls, but those walls make it very interesting because it opens up certain avenues that you wouldn't have otherwise.
I like to think of bowling with the bumpers. Like, you can always find an angle that, like, if you can't shoot it perfectly straight every single time, that wall might give you just a little bit of the bounce to get you to where you need to be to, go ahead and lock it in home.
To get you right.
And so here we go. Looks like we do have Soccer Aid versus
purple.
PSG.
Sorry, Cutters is blue and Herb is purple.
Soccer Aid versus PSG. Soccer Aid is Eclipse. So it looks like Eclipse is doing that knowledge check that we kind of talked about. And they already have pressure. That goal is open. They have to get that ball out of there because a quick shot could very easily just go in. Whoever's... Oh, the goalie manages to keep it out. I don't like them kicking it back there. They just need to move it. Yep, get some space on the other side. These two, I think Herb and Cutters are kind of feeling each other out here. Clearly, they haven't played too much. But a quick goal coming out of the Ravens.
By Cutters. Sir Cutters. Cutters like, all right, I lost this for us last week. I got you.
All right, now just don't pause.
I'm with my GM/coach/owner right now.
A nice job crowding the box to stop it. Yep, true.
Pass it over and take the shot.
That was a kind of televised. I would have wanted him to continue and to kind of make a contest. You got to get that. No, you. Oh, no. That was so lucky. That was so dangerous. So they're doing a very.
Oh, that was another 1-for-1.
Yep. They're doing a very televised, like, 1-2 situation here, and I think Eclipse is doing a good job of not biting because they're not committing to the one ever. They're just looking for that quick thing. But they need to pass that out because what is happening is whoever's on goalie needs to just kick it to an open area. They don't need to do this.
Clear it.
Like, right there. Why did you kick it right to the opponent? Nice job off the wall. Boom. The goalie's just standing there.
I would have taken that shot earlier. But with what you were saying earlier about how they're going for the televised stuff, how you make that work a little bit better is you have to force them to respect an option.
Yep, and right there, like, he just kicked it straight in. I think we're seeing a little bit of just discomfort and another quick goal.
The Ravens are being, well, I think Karma's feeding off of the Ravens' simple mental errors.
Yes. Eclipse is just living in those passes. If you watch every single time, boom, good job. Horizontal, keep the ball moving. Nice job with a quick score back to keep this game tied.
And that was Cutters again?
It looks like it. Lionel Messi. Let me see. We got blue here. Boom.
And that's over to Herb. Yep. And then that should be Cutters right now.
Oh, that was amazing team play. I like the back and forth. See, because they've been doing the 1-2, they sent it back, and they had already committed towards one side.
And you have to pass this up because it's an easy go if you don't. Yep.
Once again, I need them to fill these other sidelines. You notice how both of them ran off to the left, which meant it was a free thing. Boom. You have somebody off there to the right. Why are you kicking that there towards you have somebody to kick it back across to. Take your time. Boom. Nice job kicking it over. You have space over to the right. They're playing in that passing lane, though. Whoever this is, Red Jury is contesting so well. Every single pass, he's not giving it out for free. Nice job.
Oh, my God.
The number of bounces, the number of shots. I know from the floor we can hear them. The cheers erupt as it goes in for the Ravens. The Ravens have another 1-point lead. Both teams are just looking to get that man advantage. Boom,
Right there.
Take your time. Boom, and that's a 2-point lead as we're coming towards the close of the first half.
Now what you have to do is not do stupid stuff. Do not shoot yourself in the foot. And that's what the Ravens have been doing here, is shooting themselves in the foot.
Yep, calm down. They're not pressuring you. Just start taking it up, force them to come to you, and then make a decision.
Because you don't want to give them an easy
like
go.
right there, why are you?
You don't want to give them an easy go right before half.
Oh, nice job. He managed to stop
Shoot
it.
that.
Oh!
Wow.
And it looks like the situation where Herb and Cutters weren't on the same page is starting to clean itself up, but even still, they're taking some risky situations.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we're better than you, so we're going to try to force it instead of like, I don't think they're playing this like that. If they were playing against people who they believed of similar skill level, they wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. Because, like, right here, boom, Jerry runs up. Boom, like, again, they're just pressuring here. They're both playing the passing lanes. You have control. Just hold the ball and force them to come to you.
You're going to pass it over and he's going to shoot that, yep.
And now that 1-2 that wasn't working at the beginning.
And the Ravens are getting hyped.
Yes. And I think that's going to be good because you got to keep your energy up coming into the second half. Boom. Shoots it over.
You don't want to open
crowd the box too much. Yep. And just walk it in. Take as much time.
Because think about it like this. There's the same number of people on the field on each side, right?
Yeah.
If there's two people on one person, then that means that somebody's uncovered.
Yeah. So one thing I'm looking at is it looks like they finally communicated. I was literally going to bring up Pip was on the person playing goalie and needed to go ahead and send him back. And they have to make sure that, like,
You have to pass. You have to.
Boom, a nice pass through.
You're going to take control of the goalie, right? Because you somebody blocked the ball. And then you have to pass it up and switch off goalie.
Yep, here we go, boom. They managed to get their goalie back, so they don't have to worry too much about that.
So the Ravens have the 5-point lead right now. They just have to play it smart.
Like, why make that pass? What are you hoping to accomplish?
I think I don't want to say they're trying to secure the win by scoring as much points as possible, right? They're doing a more offensive approach here, as opposed to, like, you know how some people will hold the ball and play time a little bit. That's not generally the Ravens' style of coaching.
I agree. You're up by 5, though, and you're taking passes that can go bad, and you're just hoping that your defense is good enough. And Jerry immediately enters back.
You're giving up easy transitions.
Yeah.
Because think about it, if you run off 10 seconds every time, like that's 40 seconds off the clock.
And your defeat was coming from them living in the passing lanes, right?
Yeah.
So what you don't want to do is force them to commit and make an option.
Give them more situations which they excelled at.
Boom. Ooh, he had an inside leg, and that was just a really quick move. Jerry is putting on a clinic, trying to keep Eclipse in this game right now. Boom, yep. Now they're slowing down, but you had a 5-point lead, which is now down to 3 off the wall.
In all of the span of what?
A nice foul just to stop play. Jerry has control of the ball. It looks like Pip is playing that middle point. Pip has control of the ball. I think he's looking for Jerry. They're really counting on Jerry to take that shot, and I hope the Ravens are taking note of it, yeah, and being really aware. Once again, like, it works out. But now it's a one-on-one. Pip. Pip. Nice attempt. I appreciate the attempt. That is not where you want to sit. Ravens, you are choking Rex here. Please, I need you to stop. And now here's the issue. Now that we're seeing that more reserved play, but now you're only up by 2 goals. And if you have any more of these mistakes,
it's a 1-point game. It's a 1-point game. The Ravens had this at 5 points with like 2 minutes left, 2 to 3 minutes.
30 seconds.
Now you. I feel like you. Wow, this.
Yep, and now they're trying to live in the passing lanes. Because they know that Eclipse has to do it. Can Jerry get this? Can Jerry? Yep, Jerry has to play for it. They kick it up.
You got 10 seconds left.
Tried to cross it over. He did it again. And another goal. That should just about secure it. You can do 2 goals in 8 seconds, but it's not the easiest thing in the world.
Oh, wow. And speaking of...
Oh, my... And that should do it
The
And
Ravens almost sold that hard.
yes, I want to give like I would love people to go back and Jury and Pip Boy. I don't think people would have expected that. Maybe some of y'all out there, y'all know the skill level just as the same way that earlier in the season, Jury was saying he was training
Yeah.
everybody in racing games. It looks like AJ Nexus, the entire team has also been working in sports because I don't think many would have guessed that that game would have been that close. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are a new person here to UEL, welcome. What we do here is we play 33 games on a randomized wheel across 4 hours. The team with the most points
Wins.
and so, what we're trying to prove is who is the best all around gamer in the world.
Not just the best fighter, not just the best shooter, but who can adapt the most to the most games in critical situations.
Yes, you got to be able to just now. We had FIFA played before that For Honor would have been up, before that Dead by Daylight. And you have to be able to just shift your mindset, shift what you're doing
And
faster and faster. And
mentally, too, like you can't just like emotionally. These are 2 of the 4 best teams, the 2 of the 4 teams left remaining. So this is where every little mistake matters, right? It's win or go home. Oh, F1. Pivotal game, pivotal game, pivotal game, pivotal game.
Oh, I don't think y'all know. We have 2 of the best racers in the league in Jury. This is the racing belt champion. He holds it. He looks at it going up against Chicken Tech, who has been preparing all season, knowing that at some point he was going to have to fight him in a game, in a race. I should say drive against him. And the big thing is, I think a lot of people have said that F1, and I'm taking this from Mr. Hollywood out there. Shout out to Mr. Hollywood. But sending a big send out to him. He is the one, another top racer, in saying that he thinks Chicken Tech might have an edge in a game like F1, whereas Jury might be favored in Moto. And so we have a situation there where
we can really see how
these 2 step up. How these 2 step up. It's a tense game. We're about to be 5-5. We about to be right back into it.
But a real fun thing about not Wreckfest as F1 as opposed to Moto is you have the potential to like lose almost instantly. Now, granted, I don't believe that we won't see either one of these players really crash based off of any level of lack of skill, but there's a potential that it does happen. I don't think it happens, but there's a potential.
So, funny you bring that up. Earlier this season, we in fact saw a situation where Jury hit the edge of the road, might have been tapped, but hit the edge of the road, spun out, and crashed out actually in one of the games earlier this season.
Was that Jury or was that
Yes.
Chicken Tech?
That was Jury.
Or Hollywood.
I think it's also happened to Chick Tech, funnily enough.
And it happened to Hollywood.
That's the funny thing about F1. F1.
So the best races is happened because I was talking to Hollywood yesterday, and I was like, Hollywood, or maybe it was Wednesday. What races have you lost? Have you lost races this season? So he's looking, and the only one that we could really find was F1, and that was against the Phantoms, and that was because same thing. He got tapped, he got spun out. So all of our races have lost this season.
Yeah, it's one of those racers where it's so easy to get DNF. Just
It's like a simulation kind of. Yeah.
Just the wrong tap on your car. Now, one thing that I'm super interested in is who won RPS for this game, because whoever gets map choice could be the deciding factor. Even though both of them, I know 90% of the
But
maps.
who's freshest on that stage?
Boom.
On that course?
If you know you were practicing for this last night, what stage is your stage that you're the most comfortable on? Let me see that, and I'm going to guess whoever got that RPS is going to end up going. Ravens will be player 1.
And Jury will be player 2.
Yes, and I believe or F1 is top and bottom. So top should be the Ravens. Bottom of the screen will be
I think we
the
might also
Eclipse.
know by camera view because Chicken Tech likes to use a more, I don't even know how to describe it, but you see less of, it's almost like you're looking at it from outside of the pit. Like you can, it gives you a real good view of the wheels. And I'm not sure, it's been a little while since I've seen Jury play, but I don't remember what viewpoint he uses. Or if it's the same as Chicken Tech, so.
Okay.
Chicken Tech, I want to say Havoc does that same viewpoint as well.
Yeah, I know that. Like different racers are. You definitely get to see some of their practice and some of their just comfort. And it's funny to see because we get to see the huge difference between the 2.
Like And it's like it's not to say that one's better than the other. It's just all about personal preference.
Yeah, the tension out there. So I want to just highlight this because it's really funny to me. Jury looks comfortable, right? Like he looks like okay, cool. I'm getting a little tension from Chicken Tech. The shoulders look a little tense. Y'all might need to hit him with a massage during halftime.
There's more pressure on him here than.
Yeah.
And this is another interesting matchup. Racers in these last ones, because if they end up playing against
Player 1, so there should be Chicken Tech selecting. We get another wheel spin here.
Yep, so top is Chicken Tech. You can tell by the
NHL, another quick sports game. We'll see what lineups have in store for us after this amazing F1 gameplay. Neither one is starting at the front, so I want to see if either one of them is going to look to crash the other out.
I don't believe that would be the case.
I know a lot of the races in the league like to take.
Wow.
And Chicken Tech crashed himself out. He took a really aggressive line and ended up running into the back of the CPU.
I did not expect that to happen. And two of the games that we expected the Ravens to win were games that Chicken Tech was in solo.
I mean, it was brought up during first spin. Hollywood said Chicken Tech sells. I'm
not going to go as far as to say that.
Yeah, me neither. But currently, I think there are two games that Eclipse has proven.
DVD and
anybody else in the league, I think you look at Chicken Tech and say this is a free win. And I wonder how much that plays into the mental. You're playing, and I'll throw it to you. You're playing Tekken against her. Do you change how you think about the game because you know you're playing someone that knowledgeable or that good? You're playing another top player. Do you all of a sudden, does Chicken Tech take a riskier line to try to hold his position because he knows, hey, if I make it past this first turn and I'm in this better spot, I can just win this race?
I think it's a different level of pressure. But, like I said, I'm really surprised at the outcome of that. Because he took it so early. Talk about risk versus reward. He wasn't in a situation where he needed to take a risk that early. And I think that is also... What's the word I'm looking for? He was like, okay, he wanted to assert himself early.
Yeah, I'm wondering because he hit a little patch of grass trying to cut the turn as much as possible, and he came out of it and just immediately slammed into the back of the person in front of him. And at what point do you just have to give up that line?
So it looks
you
like for NHL we have Cutters, KIC, and Watt versus Spicy, AJ, and Nexus.
Ooh, I don't know who I give this to. Because AJ and Nexus and Spicy are such a potent.
They were practicing NHL before the game started.
You hate to hear it. If you're a Ravens fan. If you're a Eclipse fan, you should be on top of the world right now, knowing that an optimal lineup rolled for a game that you might want.
Well, no, when I say they were practicing, I mean Eclipse in general.
Yeah, but I think that even still, Nexus and AJ are definitely two of their strongest.
And Spicy, players. Yeah, I think Spicy, this is optimal.
That to me is, if I was looking at you get to pick.
Based on what I knew, what I've seen in the past, this looks like the optimal lineup.
Yeah, with the people that are playing. Obviously, if Rick was playing, Rick Foci, you might want him in, but he's out there coaching.
But over who, though? Because Spicy, I believe, is good. AJ is good. Next,
I think that you would put him maybe over Spicy, hold Spicy for another game, and then you could have Rick as somebody that is really good at sports and racing especially. It's kind of like if you have a 10 available, you play the 10, even if you have an 8 or a 9 that could just as well substitute.
So for the Ravens, it's Cutters as red, Watt as purple, and Cassie as blue. So here is what the interesting thing is. Cutters I know is good. Watt I know is good. I don't know about KIC.
That's the funny part, and this might be the first time we get to see him go up against Nexus in a situation. So I'm looking at which one of them can help their team more. KIC, we don't I know he plays 2K, for example, right? We know that he's touched it. But NHL is not one of those games I think a lot of people see.
So the Ravens are the dark blue.
So it'll be
it's lightning versus lightning, but the Ravens are the dark blue.
Yeah, Cutters versus Spicy, a quick shot. The Ravens have the puck and get another wheel spin while this is all going on.
And you know we haven't seen yet? A shooter.
Yeah, that is true. Hot Wheels is rolling, though, so the shoot is still not coming. The second half might be a pretty shooter-heavy situation.
And I wonder what the lines are, because is it no hurt, no... Tech versus no jury.
Ooh, that could be really interesting. But in that case,
I know jury's not available because we went for back-and-back games.
what I will say to you, if Phoenix is available, that's another person to keep an eye out for. People, again, we talked about how much people have been sleeping on Phoenix all season, and I think Hot was another one of those games that people don't realize.
So it looks like we have
Good
KFC.
puck movement, but immediately being challenged. Spicy has had control of the puck there for a second.
I just realized him's not in. I didn't think
Yes. Him would have been optimal lineup for the Ravens. We have Watt there looking for a quick shot.
So this is light blue, so that would be. So let's see, what other colors do we have?
All right, so
green is
AJ.
and
So that would be Nexus, I believe. Nexus should be the light. All right. So AJ currently has control of the puck. He sends it on over to Spicy, who sends it to Nexus.
And you just hold. Oh, he lets it out. Okay.
They didn't end up challenging the goalie. If you want him to hold on to it and get the puck back, you have to be up in his face and challenge.
And then like right now.
Yes, neither side has scored. Now, we do play this in 3v3. For those that have never seen NHL, we play this in 3v3, and there are special pucks. You can see the second puck is a -1 puck,
So it gives you a point.
and it takes one away from the opponent. And the yellow, I believe, are orange fire pucks, which will give you 2. So both of these, after this first puck, the next puck scored could have a huge swing on the game.
Well, if you get the first puck and then the other team gets a second puck, you're still losing.
Yep.
You're losing by 1. So it's really interesting. Sometimes we just don't get any kind of.
Watt with control. He sends it to Herb. Or no, excuse me, to KIC. I am so sorry there. He sends it to KIC. But again, Green back on AJ.
And he takes
With
that
a nice shot.
So that's purple, that's purple,
Watt.
that's purple, that's Watt.
Watt passes out to Cutters. Cutters is moving up. KIC is trying to fill the lane. He throws it back over to Watt. The two of them, they're trying to link up and set up this play, but a yellow and Spicy almost with the score, but a good job holding it. I think it's smart there to not risk sending it back out. And boom, that could have been the man to beat there that would have won. Spicy with a quick shot. A nice job stuffing and stopping that shot from going off is really good, but we get a one-on-one penalty. Can he take it? And Spicy doesn't hit the shot. Oh.
And the thing about this is, if there's a money puck, it counts as a.
Yes, it still counts even on a penalty. But we have a good job, Spicy moving around. He sends it back to AJ. AJ takes the shot, and we got Watt falling on top of it, moving out the Cutters. Watt. So right now, I'm looking at both Nexus, and I haven't seen too much of an impact from Nexus or KIC, either one. It looks like they're both kind of just playing their roles here. This is a 2v1. You got to get that puck out if you can. Looks like there is an end of the first period. Controller settings look like some people did not check their controllers before going in the game.
And that's what we got to do.
In between rounds, this is your own, or in between periods, is your only time to check it. You got to be quick about it too. We don't give you too much time in between rounds. You're supposed to do that before the game starts.
So this, unlike some other games, you can do the controls before you do that.
Correct.
As opposed to, like, say,
All right.
2K.
So once again, in the white, we have Eclipse. They are playing. Oh, a good job by Cutters to grab that puck, but AJ takes it back, sends it on over to Nexus.
And I'm curious to see if Eclipse plays better or Ravens play better on this side, because that makes a difference. Some teams tend to play better when they're going upward.
Yes. And here we go.
We've seen a lot more. We've seen a lot more pressure coming outside from the.
Ooh, a big check coming out. A nice job. KIC takes a shot as well. I see both Nexus and KIC have started taking more shots already in this period. AJ with a quick deke into the score to take the early lead. And here we go. They are going to have to recover this. The three of them are going to have to get a goal to tie this back up. But that puck, if they could get this in, it will give them just the lead in general. Ooh,
oh, wow.
These are so close.
But close doesn't count.
Yes, it does. And there we go. Boom. Spicy just sending it forward, getting it away, doing a good job of clearing it. They're getting back on defense. They don't want to give too big of a play. A nice job sending it off the wall. Can they click this again? Nexus looking up to AJ, but it's stopped by Cutters. Sends it back up again. Cutters keeps checking this until it comes back to Watt, to Cutters.
And Cutters is like, no.
And a good job forcing the goalie to stay on top of it. They get the puck back and get another shot at it. The Ravens are doing a great job. That goes to Watt. Watt moving around. Ooh, a collision between teammates. Good job by KIC to stop it. They can't let this just get up there. It's a 2v2.
They can't
Good job.
They can't let them get a break.
KIC, what's he looking for? He sends it back to Cutters. Oh, Cutters.
Oh, man.
He's fighting for it. Cutters
Wrap
get
around.
around.
Oh, no. I thought he was going to go for the wraparound there.
That's all right. KIC moves it over to Watt. Ooh, Watt sends it into the open
But
lane.
sending it back up.
AJ has control of the
AJ.
puck. He
And
got the last
score.
score.
Yep.
He got the last score. He takes another shot trying to hit that opposite side of the goal of the goalie. Cutters can get some space. Boom. KIC loses the puck, but Cutters manages to recover. Sends it to Watt. Watt can't get a shot off. The defense out of Eclipse is ridiculous.
And there's another go.
And that is 2-0. Now, this ends up not being the worst thing because that was a -1 puck, but this is a 2-point puck. They need to score this if they want to stay in this game. There is 45 seconds left in the second period, so there is some time. Can you get it up there? You got to take it up. Boom, sending it around. Cutters goes ahead and grabs it. He's looking for somebody. Ooh, oh. They keep checking it. Cutters is buying some time. He tries to force it in. It doesn't work. And now there's a 3v1 situation that KIC has to stop. A nice stop. Hold on to Watt on goalie, but the Eclipse gets another opportunity here, and they take a quick shot. There's 22 seconds. They would hope to score this. If they score 5 points, it's over, and a 2-point puck here puts them at 4.
And that's another thing we don't see. We don't see a lot of.
AJ, he did it last time.
Nice job there. Who was that?
Boom.
Purple?
Okay, here we go, Cutters. 1v1. One man to beat. One man to beat. They just need to get control of it. 2-1. That's the end of the period. Slap shot. And that's one more period.
And these are the games the Ravens can't drop. The games that they've had a lot of scoring opportunities. They just haven't been able to capitalize. Like at the end, near the end there, where the puck was just sitting right in front of the goalie. Like you have one person there, that's an easy.
Yes.
Go.
Just one man. And again, this game is not over because of this fire puck. The money puck will give them 2 points, put them back in the game. All right, here we go. Can they find the play? KIC tries to go for a little bit of a move and isn't able to get it in. Every team seems to be clicking on full cylinders now. A nice job staying in the passing lane. Almost a self-goal there. Sends it around to KIC. KIC up to Cutters. Cutters is looking for a play. He's looking for a move.
But
you can't.
It's so congested right there. You're not getting past them.
Exactly. Boom, can Cutters get it back? No. Look at how quick Eclipses the smother Cutters. Cutters takes a shot. No one's there for the follow-up, the rebound. Cutters living in the lane. Can he get it? He tried it. It was so close. AJ,
That's
Spicy.
That's a shot that he wished he had back.
AJ, Spicy.
No, sir. Stop.
And you hear them, they're just like, yes.
Up. Watt tried to get the shot. He got it off before he got hit.
And this is where the Ravens have to play a little bit more. They might be playing a little bit different than what they normally, because they know they have to. They have to
Yes,
get.
you have to get this in.
You have to get this in, and you can't let them score. You let them score, and it's not game over, but it's functionally over.
Okay, boom.
That's how this game has been going.
Now, Eclipse is still pushing because Eclipse would prefer to win by 5. They don't want to leave this up and open. Boom. AJ with control of it. He has control of the puck. He is doing a good job here. Spicy moving around the challenge. It's an open puck.
And then going
What?
pass it up to Cutters. Nope.
Ooh, he pokes it out. Spicy with the great poke
Defense.
check to take it. Can he get another shot?
Oh.
It's right there. Okay, here we go. Boom. Okay, I see. Back to Watt. Watt takes the shot.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
The goalie missed it and manages to stop the shot.
Best goalie in the game.
Yes. That's why both teams really do prefer to use Lightning.
Well, they also have one of the best. What's the word I'm looking for? Best depth.
All right.
Because like FIFA, where it's not necessarily the best team in FIFA, but the best team for that mode,
Yes.
it's the same thing with.
With a nice puck. Now,
If the Ravens score the next two, it's tied up.
that's what is insane. Even with 50 seconds left, the game is not completely over. They need the next 3.
No, because if they score this, then it's 2-4. They score the next one, it's -1.
Oh, that is so true. Here we go. Watt almost manages to sneak it in. The defense is the tail of this game.
Well, in a lot of the games, right, we've seen the defense in roller champs. That's what won
Yes.
them roller champs. And this
Now they're
week,
just keeping it in the back. You have
They're
to make a play on it.
they're doing what the Ravens should have did in FIFA.
Yes. Boom. Boom, look up. Oh! This goalie needs to be paid more.
He said, give me my money.
He is saving so many shots. Right there, Cutters wasn't able to get up there in time to go ahead and knock
Missed
it back in.
opportunity. Missed opportunity.
Yes. And can he do it? Can he finish it? And that's game. It doesn't matter before the clock runs out. They score the 6 points and handle it. And
If you want to think about it, if you really want to think about it, it might as well be 6 to negative 1 because they got that.
it is amazing. But what is more? What is different? What is bigger?
It's 7 to 4 right now.
A 3-point.
Can we talk about something?
lead.
Can we talk about something real quick? 2 fighters have rolled, right? No shooters.
That is terrifying.
Because if you're the Ravens, primarily you don't want the shooters at all. to roll.
Correct.
And some of these other games, with how they've been going, you probably don't necessarily want those to be rolling either. And the next game is what?
Production will tell us, because I definitely that my heart was beating, my mind went blank. I was just like y'all at home, keeping up with what each player was trying to
And
do.
the Ravens, unfortunately, Ravens have not been able to come up in clutch situations.
Yes,
And that's the big difference is
it was Hot Wheels next,
Hot
because we
Wheels.
were talking about that at the beginning of the game. Oh my goodness! Go ahead, sorry, I cut you off.
the Ravens. So let's pretend the Ravens bring this back a little bit, right? They're going to be looking back at this. NHL. They almost sold FIFA.
Yeah,
That came really close. Dead by Daylight, F1, 3 games. So timeout Ravens. So think about that. Dead by Daylight, they were expecting to win. So now it will be 5-6, right? Mm-hmm. F1, they were expecting a challenge a little bit, but let's give that to the Ravens, right? That's 2 games over to the Ravens, 2 away from Commerce. That's 6-5. They're up now. Since the score is 3-3, they've been kind of letting this game get away from them, based on the game that they expected to come in here and win.
yes, I agree with all the analysis.
And no shooters. If you would told the Ravens that 12 games in that there will be no shooters, that Chicken Tech was able to go in for Dead by Daylight and F1, you're like, okay, I like this.
How big is the lead?
Yeah, that's what they would be saying.
How big is
They,
the lead?
they would be saying, 11 games, 12 games, it'd be 11-1. That's what they were expecting.
Yes.
With this will, they were like, you know what? Actually, no, 9-2. They would be like, yeah, we'll give them 4 honor, we'll give them Left 4 Dead. The rest of them we got.
Yeah. This is one of those things that ends up being so important because I think you mentioned it earlier when we were talking. Eclipse does a really good job with rotations. They haven't really been caught
Slacking.
off ever.
So there's 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. They call timeout just so they can get this game.
All right.
Because the Ravens want to play as many games as possible.
Yeah. Chicken's going in for Hot Wheels. Now, if there's a game, another game that Chicken has put tons of time into and energy, I'm looking at RPS again to say, hey, get your map.
I have something to say about this.
What?
So, do you remember last week who went in for the Ravens for Hot Wheels? Or ask better yet, who did not go in for Hot Wheels?
Chicken Tech didn't go in.
So I asked him about that later, and there was no other strategy other than I have not played this game in a while. So I'm curious to see if he's touched up on it since.
He has to. Like, there's no world where coming in next week playing Jury, the shortcut aficionado, maestro, master. Pick the word and throw it after shortcut. Jury is him when it comes to Hot Wheels. And I want people to understand, boom, you see him leaning in right there from the edge. Phoenix has been working, showing off all season what he's able to do, and he has him in this corner.
Because, okay, so you look at it like this, right? Chick Tech wants to make the claim that he's the best racer in the league, right?
Yeah.
Best racer in the league. He's lost 1 racer today, right? So that's 1 racer. Do you want to know how many races Hollywood lost all season?
How many?
1.
So I think that, like, this is very interesting because we could have a conversation about divisions. We could have a conversation about conferences. I still think that Hollywood is easily in that top 3 conversation. I honestly said this last week that I don't think Jury is a top 3 racer in the league, and not because he isn't one. He hasn't played enough this season for us to see that he is still in.
It's what
form.
have you done for me lately? So player
Yeah.
1 is Chicken Tech and player 2 is Phoenix.
Yep, and this is I think Phoenix won, because I'm pretty sure Phoenix has run this map pretty consistently. Both of them should know the shortcut, so I expect to see kind of a fight here.
Tony Hawk. We saw this last week where Chicken Tech went in for a game, and then one of his games rolled up next.
Yep.
So player
So
1.
Chicken Tech is getting set up, it looks like, for the shortcut if he can. Boom. He's trying to get set up for the shortcut. So you want to get, I know a little bit about this having watched somebody do it. Now he will lose if he does not hit this. He's got to get up on the rail basically is what he needs to do. Boom. Now he's got to shoot off. Can he get the angle? Can he get it? He needs to land over here. Hit the checkpoint, and now he's in first. I need people to understand. Like, Chicken Tech has been waiting all season to prove that he is the best at this. Now, he could do it again. There's a lot of people that would say just run your race. You are in the lead.
But maybe he's trying to finish it in quicker than 2 minutes. Because if he finishes in 2 minutes or less, guess what? They can play another game.
Boom, that's 2. He needs one more lap. He needs one more lap after this. In case y'all were wondering, and now Phoenix is like, wait, I need to do this. I can no longer wait. And if Chicken Tech does not bump him, boom, up on the rail, that lip might, oh. All right, come on, Chicken Tech, you got to get that angle. Ooh, this is going to be a little bit harder because you're a little bit further back. And it looks like Phoenix has just chosen to race, recognizing it's not worth the effort to try to learn this shortcut while playing. Boom. Can we get up on the rail? Not a great angle. Okay, you should be able to get the free space to turn. To get around it, you flipped. I would have kept going there. I would have just straight up kept going.
They need to finish this race in under 2 minutes. That's essentially what they want to do here.
So this is coming down to, does Chicken Tech hit this shortcut a 3rd time? Or does Phoenix manage to catch him? He's floating. And there we go. That lands it. He should hit this checkpoint, and there we go. This should be the end of the race here shortly.
So, let's see.
You boost. Just don't mess up the landing, and that's the
So,
race.
is there enough time to play another game? Because if there is, they're calling timeout instantly.
I'll tell you something.
What?
If I'm Phoenix, I don't stop driving.
No, it's all. Yeah, he just wins. Yeah.
Okay. Ravens with a very
So,
quick
are we
win.
gonna get another timeout? Was that under 2 minutes and 4 seconds?
Chicken Tech is beating allegations, bro.
Hey, Tony Hawk is next.
But is
And that's
was
funny.
that a reset?
I don't know. I don't know the line. But the fun thing is, this is also a. Guess who else will probably want to go in for the Eclipse if they were available?
Did AJ play this? If I remember correctly?
No. Who just went
Phoenix?
in? Phoenix will want to go in.
Can Phoenix go in a both lineups, because both teams are running a 7-man, right?
Yes, but remember Dead by Daylight.
And Eclipse had 4, so the Ravens lineup is the one that is going to be lagging behind slightly.
Not
And-
necessarily. We just have to get a good visual on.
Well, I say lagging behind because it means that, like,
there's less people.
they just had a reset, right? Because Chicken Tech played F1.
He played F1,
Then what rolled?
then
Not FIFA, but
NHL.
NHL roll. That's 3. Then he played again. At most, 4 people have been used, so somebody else is going to have to go in here. And the question is, who Eclipse
No.
caused the timeout?
Most likely the most likely instances is 3 people have played. Because let's say Chicken Tech was the last person in rotation, right? Then you throw him in. No, what am I thinking of? No, so Chicken Tech had to go in. So let's say there's one person left in the rotation at most, right? So then let's say the last person was KJ or whatever. Then 2 other people had to go in the rotation, which means it reset. And then Chicken. So at most, 3 people have gone in for this rotation.
Yeah, like there's no way Chicken Tech will be available.
No, not for a 1v1. So we have to see who goes in. Is it KJ? Is it Watt? No, I don't think Watt goes in because Watt lost. That's awful. Because think about this parallel. Last time Chick Tech wasn't able to go in because he had just played a racer or played some game, and Tony Hawk rolled up, and you'll want him in for Tony Hawk, and now you have to choose somebody else.
We'll see here in a second. I'm not kidding when I say lineups become like this is the situation where lineups become so important because the Ravens want to go into half down by 1.
Yeah.
Eclipse wants to turn this back into a 3-point loss, which is or a lead,
Yeah.
which is why they called a timeout, right? Would you call a timeout knowing you have to use them anyway? You lose them at half. If
So
you don't know,
here's
you get
what
4
I
at the
will
top.
here's what I
After
will say,
half, you lose
and I think I said it earlier. Both teams believe that they win most of the will, so both teams are going to want to be playing as many games as possible.
I'm going to ask you the million-dollar question. Do we finally see all 33 games
No,
run?
there's no way. Not with
2 hours, basically?
not with 12 games, 13 games ran. No, there's no
20
way.
games? Yeah, the majority of them, I say on average, are probably about 10 minutes.
Yeah, no.
That would literally be – that's more than 2 hours.
We'd have to
That's
get-
like 3 hours.
We'd have to
basically.
get every shooter, and the Ravens would have to forfeit every one of them.
Or they would have to, like, every shooter would need to go to points as fast as possible.
Yeah.
If we're looking at a shooter to roll, and we're talking about the Ravens here, the Ravens want Titanfall.
Yeah, that's the game that I know.
With cutters available.
Yes, I know that's the game that they feel
All
the
right,
most.
Snappy's going in, and again, another player that's been very quiet but has been doing, like, there's a lot of people on Eclipse. This is the issue with Eclipse, all right? I'm gonna talk to the people right quick. There's the issue with Eclipse.
Talk 'em, let 'em know.
Eclipse, I could literally be like, so this person's underrated, but everyone's going to look at me like, how are they underrated? I'm like, because all of them are underrated because they're all so good. We don't talk about any one player.
But then be an instant start on any other team.
Yes, like Snappy versus him. All right. So you as a veteran of the league,
Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Snappy looks like he skateboards.
true. I'm just saying, you as a veteran of the league, I'm gonna let you handle that because I need him for all the rookies from season 7 to come out and wash Snappy.
There's a few rookies. There's Nexus. There's him. There's KIC.
Yeah, but in this situation, him is playing Snappy, so I need him to go ahead and take that dub. Him, I need you to show out for the rookies. For the rookies.
I mean, we won a close game, so
Yeah.
Ravens winning this would be most
Yeah,
advantageous.
but no, actually pretty close to first spin. For those who don't know, earlier in the week before games play, we have usually it's lockdown Hollywood. A few different people pop on here and do first spin, where they spin the wheel and they analyze a little bit deeper than we can, who does what, and talk about these teams in a lot more detail. So check out UEL Esports over on YouTube for that during the week. Actually, this week's first spin, they, unlike normal, went up to 10, and it ended up coming down 9-9 with the Ravens winning Tekken. It is the funniest thing where I cannot tell you how close these games
Almost
are.
a similar situation to last week with the bots.
I'm just saying, Tekken, some good ass Tekken is always good. I can't complain. It's in the name. It's in the name. I can't complain. But we are getting set up for Tony Hawk. Now,
So explain to them how we play Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk is trick attack. You have 2 minutes. Time attack.
Is it trick attack?
I think trick attack is technically a different mode. Time
Anyways.
attack. You have 2 minutes. Score as many points as you can. How do you do that? You skate. You do the thing. You do the moves. You do the
chain things
whatever,
together.
and you chain and chain and chain, and that's to get the biggest multiplier to score the most points. This is not Tony Hawk from when you had your little cereal on Saturday morning. You had Spider-Man flying around.
There's so many interesting things to think about here with you scoring points in a multiplier. But imagine if you mess up that multiplier. That's the thing. Like, you don't just automatically get it when you stop doing it. You have to land.
Yes. And I want to highlight, because they did it there, when we played Eclipse, last game before half, when we played Eclipse and this game came up, specific situation came up, and they said that they were
Player
saving
2 is
something
him.
for the playoffs.
Player 2 is him, and player 1 is him, so on the left, and player 2 is Snappy.
Boom, both players are coming in, and it looks like both have the same intention of trying to get some more points.
And like we said, messing up
He went for a slightly bigger point lead, so this is going to just come down to who lands more tricks, since both don't see the most familiar yet. I would hope good. He got out with 30,000. That means he has a big lead, and now you put the pressure back on Snappy. But both sides aren't doing great on maintaining this grind.
But you have to start doing different things. Yep. And this is what we saw with the Ravens last week was Chicken Tech wasn't available for this game, and now look at it. All of a sudden, you have to just land, just get the point. Yep.
Snappy is out here with a huge point lead, but him sneaks back in with 80,000 points. We have a 3-point gap. It really is going to come down to who maintains and lands. Another big point jump.
Wow, and it's only about 10,000 point difference. And the thing is at the end, if you it looks like Snappy's getting a fair amount of points there.
10,000 swing.
And if at the end, if you're still doing a trick, with
Keep going.
you can keep going. But granted, it's an amount of time. Oh, 100,000 points.
And that's going to be really big. That puts the pressure on him to really go for a big grind and maintain it for as much as possible.
And if I'm
Oh, but he drops it there. Another 92 as well coming out of Snappy. Snappy looks like
Snappy
has this locked down. Like he knows
Snappy just
exactly
has to get familiar. There's no pressure on him right now. He's like, I just have to do me.
If I was him, I would still just be landing these smaller zones wherever possible.
Like, kind of feed into it, and then essentially you're going to have to. So I would take the points right now.
That was 107,000. All right, here we go. Him has to hit one huge
Is he
trick.
him? Is he him? Is he him? We're
Boom.
going to find that out right now.
Let's go.
Let's go see. Is he him? Is he him? Is he him?
Boom, the balance is there.
Nope. Yep.
It was only 30,000, and it goes over to Snappy to close out the half.
And another game about rotations. If Chicken Tech was available,
Yes,
that's an easy win.
it's unfortunate, but going in the half,
We have the Eclipse up 8-5.
goodness, I don't think you could have called this, and that's with every shooter on the wheel left to roll. But luckily, only 2 fighting games have rolled.
Street Fighter hasn't been one of them.
I still think that is good for the Ravens.
But all right. So it's 8-5 going in the half, and we will see you in a little bit.